All right, everybody's getting the live streams running here. We're going to start in about 5 minutes. What's up, Dave?
Got a text on your phone saying password expired. Link look weird, but your thumb feel wired. They fishing for the keys to your whole damn life. One tap, now they swimming in your bank late night. Dear customer, copy paste same line. Spelled your name wrong, can't even fake the design. Buzz in your pocket, yo, click for the check, click for the virus, click, lose respect. Scamaware 101, Jared, break it down. If it sound too sweet, better turn it around. Cash, fast love, miracle and cash. Hit the lead, not the link. We ain't falling for that. Scamaware 101, say it with your chest. Hey. Call them out, block the number, treat it like a test. If your gut say run, then you follow that drum. Scamaware, class has begun.
You must go to the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PIN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
They slide in your DMs, hey friend, long time. Photo look perfect, but the grammar ain't right. Click this link, your package on hold, but you never ordered. That story feel old. They rush you, they push you, act fast, don't wait. Soon as there's pressure, you step on the brakes. Dare break it down, plain talk, no gloss. If they hate your questions, that's your sign to walk off. Red flags, listen when he talks. Jared got the map when the road feels dark. If it sounds too sweet, then you step back smart. We don't get scammed, yeah, we guard our hearts. Hey, red flags, learn them by heart. Scam awareness class, that's the hardest part. But he slow it right down, so we all take charge. We don't get scammed, we don't get scarred.
You must go to the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PIN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
Yo, it's Jared in the booth, spitting scammer with truth. They fishing in your inbox, man, they stealing your youth. Phishing emails, got that urgent in the line. Click that link and your bank account's not fine. Fake tech support, they call you at noon. Your PC's infected, yeah, they're singing that tune. Pig butchering scams, fat wallets to slice. Invest in the fake love, but you're paying the price. Scamaware 101, keep your eyes wide open. If the deal seems sweet, man, they're probably hoping. Snatch your cash, then you broken the step. Stay woke, well, man, these crooks don't care.
You must go to the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PIN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
It's your bank, message on your phone. Jared says pause, don't tap that alone. Spelling kinda shaky, logo looks strange. Why they in a hurry, what's the real game? Dave Cruz jumps in, check that URL. Little extra letter, rings like a bell. If they want your code, that's your front door key. Real ones never ask, just trust me. Scam awareness 101, we don't click quick, we don't just Voicemails off, then hit decline. Scam awareness 101. Learn the tricks, then tell someone. We keep each other safe, that's how it's done. Scam awareness. Scam awareness. 101. John gets a call, your grandkid's stuck. Voice sounds shaky, begging for $1. Jared hits speaker, asks one more thing. What's their middle name? What's their first dog spring? Nigella's on email, congrats, you won. Prize looks fancy, fees day one.
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Thursday. You know what that means. Scam Aware 101 live stream. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you, Dave. Always a pleasure. We're going to cover your recommended scam as the first scam this evening. So we'll do that in about 5 minutes. We'll get started with that. For anybody joining for the first time, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get some more people in here. We're going to be streaming for about 2 hours this evening, discussing common scams that target you, me, your friends, your family. These are all scams that target individuals because we're being targeted all day long by text messages, emails, phone calls, even snail mail letters from the Postal Service, right? So one of the ways to spread awareness here at Scamware 101 is doing this weekly live stream every Thursday. We're going to introduce you to some red flags to help you identify and stop these scams too. So if you appreciate what we're doing over here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and follow. We're on all your favorite social media platforms. Make sure to join our free mailing list at scamaware101.com. Just hop on over to the website, hit join mailing list. Free to join. It's the best way to keep up to date with what we're doing over here. We'll send you some reminders when we're going live and some other useful scam awareness tips. And while you're there, make sure to follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. We have the links all here right on our website. We also have some merch available in the YouTube store. If you want to get some Scamaware 101 travel mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, stickers, help support the mission over here. We appreciate that. We also have memberships enabled over on YouTube. We have memberships and the super chats enabled as well. If you want to toss us a couple bucks, we always appreciate it, but don't feel obligated. We're just happy with a couple likes and some shares. So make sure to get some more people in this live stream. Now is the time to share it if you're over on Facebook. And we got 2 hours of jam-packed scam awareness information for you to learn and protect yourself from common scams. Make sure to say hi in the chat. We do have an agenda that we're going over tonight, a whole bunch of scams on the list here, but we don't have to stick to it. So if you want to hear about a certain scam or share your story, hop on into the YouTube chat and tell us. Maybe I'll be able to cover that scam for you, and maybe I'll share your story with the group. We want to hear from you. It takes a village to protect yourself and your loved ones from these scammers. All right. So without further ado, I think we'll get started with the featured scam this evening. And this scam was requested by Dave. Every week we post on Facebook asking who wants to hear about what scams on our live stream this Thursday. And Dave responded. He said he wanted to hear about some half-off scams. So I went and did a little research, and I prepared some information about that type of scam for you. I'd love to hear Dave's thoughts as well as we go through the slides on that scam. So let's take a look here. Let me bring that one up. All right. So the first scam we're going to talk about here are half-off scams, sometimes referred to as plug scams. And it's an interesting scam because a lot of times what we warn our viewers about is, you know, if something sounds too good to be true, then it probably is, right? If you're seeing some amazing offer where a product's being offered for free and just pay shipping, chances are it's just going to steal your payment details, right? You're never going to get the product, or you're going to get a counterfeit product usually. But what's interesting about this scam is a little different than that, right? And it's different as in you actually get the product, right? And why it's called a half-off scam is because it's commonly advertised by scammers as get 50% off, right? You pick any item you want, or you can have a bill paid by the scammer, and they say, we pay 50% of it, or we pay 100%, you pay us 50, right? That's how the scam works. And it's an interesting scam, and I think it's going to be becoming more common, you know, as prices start going up and the cost of things start going up. We're going to start seeing this scam a lot more, and I was surprised at the lack of coverage of this scam. One of the first things I did was I tried to go find some media reports on this scam. I really couldn't find much about it. So I really had to do some digging to get this info about this scam put together. But it's definitely an interesting scam, and I think we'll be seeing more of it. And how it works, again, is these scammers, they offer to pay your bills, right? They offer to purchase things for you, merchandise for you, even groceries, food delivery. They offer to purchase these things for you for 50% off or a major discount off, right? And it's actually a scam. And you might be wondering how this scam works and how somebody could be paying, 50% of a bill that you owe. Well, it's because they're using stolen credit cards, stolen gift cards, fraudulent methods to pay this. All right, so let's dive into this scam and talk about it a little bit more here. Again, it's called a half off or a plug scam. Right, and how it works is someone promises to get you something for about half the normal price. And unlike other scams, the victim often receives exactly what they expected, at least initially, right? However, many of those operations rely on stolen credit cards, compromised financial accounts, stolen gift cards. You're buying access to someone willing to fraudulently pay for you, right? You're actually paying a scammer to use a stolen credit card and pay your bills, purchase products for you, and you get a huge discount, right? When the fraudulent purchase is reported, though, the transaction is reversed, the scammer disappears, and you lose your money or might even have to explain to law enforcement how you ended up with the fraudulently purchased merchandise, right? That's the thing that's scary about this scam. You think you're getting a deal, right? The product or service arrives, you see that your bill got paid by the scammer, and you think, wow, it actually worked. This is great. You don't realize it's a scam, right? But the payment for your bill could get reversed, right? Because whoever owns that credit card is going to eventually report it as fraud, right? So whatever bill they paid for you, it could get reversed, right? And what's scary about this scam is the merchandise is getting sent directly to you. The groceries are getting sent directly to you. The DoorDash delivery is coming to you. So when there's an investigation, guess who they're going to look at? They're going to come and they're going to look at you. So you might actually have to deal with law enforcement because of this scam. So that's the scary thing about this scam. It seems like you're just getting an amazing deal, but law enforcement could be knocking on your door the next day because a scammer is behind it, right? And this scam is commonly known as a few different things. Sometimes it's called a plug scam, and we'll explain why in a little bit. Sometimes a half-price scam, a food plug, a flight plug, a bill plug, utility plug. Sometimes it's just an I do bills scam, right? There's lots of different names for this scam, and a half-off scam as well, right? And sometimes you'll approach these scammers or the person that's offering this amazing deal for whatever service, and you'll say, how could you be giving me 50% off of a computer, $1,000 computer, and you're offering me 50% off? An iPhone, you're offering me 50% off? How can you do this? And a lot of the common scam narratives, they'll say something along the lines of, I have an employee discount, I have wholesale pricing, I have an inside connection, I have expiring gift cards that I could use. Sometimes they'll say they know somebody or they have a special vendor account, rewards points. These are common reasons that they use of how they could get you to 50% off. But it's just to get you to stop asking, right? It's just their fake story to move the scam along, right? It's designed to just stop you from asking questions. And this scam has evolved over the years, okay? It started off as just some kind of merchandise scam, right? It's almost like a new spin off it fell off the back of a truck type scam, right? Even though it's stolen goods or was purchased fraudulently. And it started off years ago as a merchandise scam and a product scam. But as time evolved and the internet came around, it started turning into like an online shopping scam, right? And one of the most common versions of this scam is actually flights. What these scammers do is they'll offer you half off flights, half off hotels, half off vacations, car rentals, things like that. And what happens is, it seems legit, right? You pay them the 50% and you see, okay, my flight's reserved. It's actually there. Or my hotel reservation's reserved. This is legit. It's amazing, right? But it's not. You arrive at the airport and you find out that your reservation's been canceled, or you arrive at the hotel, you find out that your hotel reservation has been canceled, and worst case, the cops are waiting there to question you. And we've actually heard that from some victims of this, where they ended up getting interrogated by the police because of the fraudulent purchases that were made, in their name using stolen credit cards, right? And again, the victim doesn't know this is happening. They just think they're getting an amazing deal, but it's actually a scammer behind the scenes using stolen credit cards and gift cards. It's almost a way to launder money, right? They have these stolen credit cards, these stolen gift cards, and they launder money because what you pay them, they keep. So even if the charge gets called back or reversed, they still have your money. And the most recent version of this scam, because it's evolved over the years, now is pretty much evolved to any type of online payment, right? They could do food delivery, where DoorDash, Uber Eats, pizza delivery, grocery delivery, they'll offer you 50% off and you're paying the scammer, right? But they're using stolen credit cards and gift cards to make these purchases. And again, that's an example of how the fraudulent merchandise, the fraudulent service is getting delivered to you. So when the cops go to investigate, guess who they're going to look at? You, right? So you get in a lot of trouble for this scam. There's even a bill pay version of this scam. They offer to pay half your electric bill, half your gas bill, your water bills, your phone bills, your internet bills, your cable bills, your rent, your credit cards, your mortgage, right? They offer to pay, they offer to pay 100% of your bill and you only have to pay 50%, right? That's why it's called a half off scam, right? They say, you just pay us 50%, we'll pay your whole bill, but they're paying it with somebody else's bank account, somebody else's credit card, all right? And again, it ends up getting reversed eventually. It could take time, but it could take days, weeks, or even months, but eventually those charges get reversed and they're going to come investigate you, all right? So, so many variations of this scam and so many different products that these scammers are now offering you for 50% off, right? So let's break down how this works, okay? So according to my research, this could start off as just an ad on the internet that you're clicking on. You're not realizing it's a scam ad, right? Maybe it's an ad for a computer or an iPhone, okay? 50% off. And you make the purchase and the scammer behind the scenes, they use a fraudulent credit card and they send you the merchandise, right? Meanwhile, they're keeping the 50% that you paid and you're not going to be able to get it back because what they do is they ask you to pay with Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, cryptocurrency, a wire transfer, or other methods that are very hard to recover if you're able to recover them at all, right? So this is how it works. When it gets reversed, the fraudulent charge, when they purchase the merchandise when it gets reversed, they still get to keep that 50% payment that you made to them because you're not going to be able to get it back through Zelle. You're not going to be able to get it back through Venmo and Cash App, right? Once you make that payment, it's gone. So not only are you getting your money stolen, but the cops are going to come look at you, right? So it's an interesting scam because in most scams, you pay for something and you don't get the product or service, right? You just got your payment details stolen. But in this case, you do get the product and the service, but it's fraudulently done, right? So the biggest version of scam that I saw seemed to be, well, the most common version back that was reported on was about a year ago. There's a lot of flight versions of the scam, airline tickets and hotel tickets being purchased this way through the scam, 50% off your flight, 50% off your hotel, but you're going to get it reversed and your hotel's reservation's going to get canceled, your flight's going to get canceled, and then they're going to look at you as if you're the person that stole the credit card and the payment details, right? So it's a very dangerous scam, and that's why you should really care about this. A lot of people kind of look at this scam and they think, well, who cares? I got the product I ordered, I didn't lose any money, but that's not true, right? What's going to happen is that bill that they paid for you, guess what? It is going to get reversed, and you're still going to have to pay that bill, and the scammer got that 50% that you paid them. Right? The scammer disappears with your 50% that you paid. So it's really not a great deal. And you might end up having to deal with cops, right? And being investigated. When I was researching this on Reddit, there was even someone that reported they were getting charged with possession of stolen goods and grand larceny because they had the equipment that was fraudulently purchased. Even though they thought they just found a great deal online, it got delivered to their house and guess what? The cops came knocking and looking for them. So it's very important to be aware of this half-off scam, this plug scam. And the reason it's called a plug scam, by the way, is originally the word plug. It was slang for someone who had a connection. Somebody that knows somebody that has access to cheap, discounted goods or whatever. But criminals, they adopted the word and now they use it to advertise half-off scams. A lot of times they'll post on social media. Most commonly, this is circulating on social media, Discord, Telegram, WhatsApp, TikTok, Snapchat. Other people that are posting videos about this, it's not getting a lot of attention by the media, but the victims that are posting about this scam, they got approached on Snapchat, TikTok, right? And they use coded language. The scammers that are marketing this type of scam, they'll say, I do bills. I can get anything for 50% off. Tap in for rent help because they're offering to pay your rent. You give me 50% of your rent, I'll pay the whole thing. But it's a scam, right? Think of your landlord's not going to be too happy when that payment gets reversed or the cops come knocking on his door to investigate, right? They offer 50% off your bills. Sometimes they'll just say, need a plug, right? It's coded language that they use on social media to make it seem like they just got a hookup, right? But it's not. It's a scam. So many different versions of this. They call Uber Eats plug, an Apple plug, gift card plug, food plug. The gift card plug is interesting, right? Because something we cover a lot here on this live stream is gift card scams, where it's always a red flag when someone asks you to pay with gift cards, right? Well, turns out one of the things that these scammers do with the gift cards once they get them is they start selling them online for 50% off, right? Pay me 50%, $100 gift card, give me $50 for it, right? Well, you'll be lucky if the gift card even works when you get it, but it's a scam, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You know, and this half off and this plug scam, it falls under that category, right? And it's interesting because they're offering grocery delivery, 50% off your groceries, 50% off your utility bills, right? It's interesting. And then they have it delivered right to your house. But again, eventually it gets reversed. You know, they're paying with a stolen credit card. They're paying with stolen gift cards. Eventually it's going to get reversed and they're going to come looking for you, all right? So why does this scam work? Because a scam is built. It's built around one powerful idea. Everyone loves saving money, right? Plus, the victim thinks it worked, right? They saw this deal for 50% off. They took a risk and did it. And the products actually arrived, or the groceries actually got delivered, or the DoorDash or Uber Eats order actually got delivered, right? But they don't realize that it's a scam, right? The underlying transaction is fraudulent. Later on, the orders may fail or be reversed. And then the payment owner is going to report it as fraud, and they're going to come looking at you, right? And that's why you should care, okay? A lot of people hear about this scam, and they say, so what? I'm saving money. That's what the scammers want you to think, right? In a lot of cases, you're going to lose that money anyway because the payment's going to get reversed. If they paid a bill for you or paid your rent for you, eventually it's going to get reversed, right? Your order could be canceled, like the flight or the hotel reservation that the scammer purchased for you. Even though it looks good initially, you get the confirmation and everything from the airlines. It shows up as ordered and scheduled, right? But eventually it's going to get reversed. You show up to the airport, you show up to that hotel, the cops might be waiting for you, right? Retailers can recover the item, okay? They send you a laptop and then they find out a stolen credit card was used to purchase it. They're going to come knocking and want their merchandise back, okay? And the thing is, again, the reason why you can't get your money back is because these scammers, they request a payment through Venmo, Zelle, crypto, ways that you can't really recover the payment once it's sent. Okay, so you end up losing money, and depending on what happened, you could end up facing criminal and civil charges. Right? So it's a serious scam to be aware of, and it's circulating a lot on social media. Seems to be the main place where this is circulating. So here's some red flags to be aware of and some ways to stay safe from this scam. You know, claims that you could get anything at half price, or someone says they have unlimited access to discounts, that's a red flag. Okay, you know, think about it this way. If someone actually had 50% off of items and could get these amazing discounts, why would they sell it for that cheap, right? They could be selling it for a couple bucks under the price and actually be making money, right? They wouldn't be selling it at 50% off, right? Another red flag, they can't explain why the discount exists. You know, it gave you a couple common scammer narratives of what they'll try and say, right? But if they can't explain it, that's also a red flag. Okay. Sometimes they require payment before placing the order. Red flag. They'll insist on Zelle, Cash App, crypto, wire transfers, these difficult to reverse payment methods. Again, big red flag. They tell you not to contact a retailer. They're advertising through social media and DMs instead of having a legitimate business or a business website. Red flags. You know, they promise 30% to 70% discounts on almost anything. And they'll even tell you, they'll say something like 50% off of anything on Amazon. They'll tell you, just let me know what products you want me to get. All right. So you'll send them over a list of products and they'll only charge you 50%, but they're going to use a stolen credit card. They're paying the full price with a stolen credit card, and it's going to lead back to you. Okay. Big red flag if they say they could pay your bills for half the price. I think we're going to be seeing that a lot more. They're offering to pay your rent. Right? I'll pay 100% of your rent. Just pay me 50% or 100% of your utility bills. You know, as costs are going up, we're going to start seeing more and more people jumping at these fraudulent offers that scammers are running, these half off and these plug scams. right? If they advertise themselves as a plug, that's a big red flag, right? And if they move the conversation to private messaging apps, we mention that a lot when we talk about red flags in general. You know, we see this a lot with scams. Initially, it'll start with a text message or an email, right? But then they try to get you to move over to WhatsApp or Telegram to continue a conversation. So that's a classic red flag, and it's also a common red flag for this type of scam, these half-off and plug scams, right? So look, to stay safe from these scams, buy directly from the legitimate business. Okay, use reputable travel agencies, booking agencies. Okay, don't be dealing with people that are just advertising through DMs and social media. Okay, pay with your own payment method. Use a credit card instead of Zelle or Venmo or crypto. Right, at least with a credit card, you have some kind of protection there by reaching out to the credit card company. Right. And look, if someone promises unbelievable savings, you need to ask yourself one question. Has this person really had a legitimate way to buy everything for half price? You know, why would they sell it to strangers instead of making a fortune for themselves? Right. It just doesn't make sense. So look, if someone offers to buy almost anything for you at half price, the discount isn't the product, right? It's the beta. You're the customer that they're trying to recruit, and they're going to use you to launder their money and their ill-gotten credit cards, their ill-gotten gift cards. Right, it's an interesting scam, and we haven't seen a lot of coverage of this scam in the media. I was actually pretty surprised. You know, I wanted to find some clips from some news sources about this, you know, other than just random people posting about it on social media, but there weren't really much reports about this one in the media. So keep an eye out for this one. We're going to start seeing it a lot more, you know, and just some key takeaways about this scam. And let me know in the chat if there's anything else that we should be adding or anything else about this scam you want to hear, Dave. But look, some key takeaways. If someone could buy anything for you at half price, they're probably not saving you money, right? They're using someone else's money, and they're going to put yours at risk too. Okay, it's a business model. It's a criminal business model, right? The products change, the platforms change, the terminology changes, but the scam remains the same, right? The scammer is selling access to fraudulent payments while convincing victims they're just getting a deal. Okay, use common sense. You know, if someone offered to sell you a brand new $100 bill for $50, you'd immediately know something was wrong, right? But because someone's offering an iPhone for half the price, people are less suspicious about it, right? Or your groceries for half the price. People are just thinking they're getting a great deal. But think of it as somebody's offering you $100 for $50. It doesn't make sense, right? And that's the thing about these half off and these plug scams. Follow the money, right? If someone offers to buy something for you at half price, but you have to pay them instead of the business selling it, assume the payment is coming from fraud, right? This is kind of like the classic version of, it fell off the back of a truck, right? But it's evolved now. It's evolved into a complex online scam where they pretty much pay anything for you now. Your bills, right? Your DoorDash deliveries, right? They offer to pay it all. Just give them 50%. But don't fall for it. It's a scam, right? There are no legitimate shortcuts to big savings. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So be aware of these half-off scams, these plug scams. You know, again, we're not seeing many warnings about these scams other than random people popping up, you know, after they've been a victim on and posting about it on social media. You know, hopefully we'll get some news coverage and some actual, you know, media on the TV, you know, coverage about this type of scam and start warning people. Because, you know, 50% offer, it's pretty tempting. And people won't realize it's a scam. So let me know what you think about this scam. Let me know if you've seen this scam around, if you've been targeted by this type of scam. I want to hear your stories. It's a big problem out there. And again, I want to stress, you know, people, they think, why should I care about this scam? I'm still getting the product. Well, the cops are going to come knocking, and you could be held responsible and charged for having stolen goods, right? Stolen goods are part of the scam. So don't get tricked into it. It's not worth it. And that's our featured scam this evening. This first time we're covering this one. We're going to add it to the regular rotation and start educating people about this one every week here on the live stream. I'm probably going to make a separate video about this too, just to get it out there. So shout out to Dave for recommending this scam, asking for us to cover this one. Let me know in the chat if I left anything out about this scam. I always appreciate your input. Now, we could hop on and to our regular scams here that we're going to talk about. By the way, how we all doing? Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. We want to hear from you. Say hi. We're streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're monitoring the YouTube chat, right? So if you're over there on Instagram or Facebook watching, I'll be checking in from time to time, but we're mainly monitoring the YouTube chat. So hop on over there, say hi, ask your questions. You'll get a much faster response over in the YouTube chat. And we want to hear from you. We'll be streaming live for at least until 8 o'clock this evening, probably until like 8:15-ish. So plenty of time to share this live stream, get more people in here, spread awareness about these scams. Important to get out there. It takes a village to protect the community from these scams. So the next scam we're going to be talking about here, Medicare scams. There's a big problem. I feel like every week we hear about a new Medicare scam getting busted and shut down. You know, especially in the U.S. recently, which is kind of wild. You know, a lot of these scams, they're known for happening out of the country, but a lot of these scammers now are getting kind of busted in the United States too. So they're all over the place. You know, there is no borders anymore when it comes to these scams. But, you know, recently the FBI and DOJ, you know, how they love to post things, right? And they've been making some progress, or so it seems, against these Medicare scams. A lot of fraudsters being taken to court and caught, right? But you hear some of the numbers, though. We're talking millions and millions of dollars, you know, that these individual scammers are getting away with these Medicare and healthcare scams. And this type of scam, it takes advantage of a lot of the elderly folks out there too that are on Medicare. And how they work is, you know, scammers impersonate your health provider or your Medicare provider to steal your personal information, your private Medicare number, right? And then what they do is they process fake claims using your identity. Never give your Medicare number to a stranger over the phone. Never give your healthcare information to anyone over the phone. Even if they claim to be with your doctor's office, with your insurance company, right? Even if your caller ID shows their number, you still can't trust it because caller ID could be spoofed. It could be manipulated. It could show whatever the scammer wants it to show. So just because your caller ID says that's Medicare, just because your caller ID says it's your doctor's office, it doesn't mean it is, and you definitely can't trust it, right? You still have to hang up and then call back your doctor directly, call back Medicare directly. You can't trust unsolicited phone calls anymore, even if they know things about you. All right. And the thing about these Medicare scams is they'll call you up, they'll impersonate Medicare insurance providers, they'll impersonate pharmacies, CVS, Walgreens, right? They'll impersonate your doctor's office, your physician. Again, the caller ID will show it. That doesn't mean you can trust it. And they'll say, some common scam narratives is they'll say they're offering free medical supplies. They're providing a new Medicare card. They need to verify current information. Sometimes they'll say there's been updates to your Medicare benefits, right? And they'll ask for your personal information, like your birth date, your Medicare number, the date of service start, because they could use that information to file false claims, right? They could file claims saying that they ordered tests for you. They could order equipment for you, right? And then they could resell the equipment or just get reimbursed for services that they never even provided. And there's another one of those scams where big people will say like, well, why should I care? Insurance should just get paid anyway. Not all the time, right? A lot of times these claims, you end up paying for them, right? So it's important to review your Medicare summary notices and any details that you get in the mail. All right. So always avoid providing information to the caller. Especially, you just can't trust these unsolicited callers anymore. You always have to hang up. It doesn't matter how much they know about you. It doesn't matter what the caller ID says. These scammers, unfortunately, they know a lot of our Medicare and medical information because insurance companies, doctors' offices, right? They've been hacked. They've been breached. So our information has been stolen. So unfortunately, a lot of our medical information is being sold on the dark web and purchased by scammers. And then they use that information to try and trick us when they call. Right? They know what pharmacy to impersonate. They know what doctor to impersonate. So you can't trust it, right? Sometimes they'll know what your social security number is because they already got it. They stole it. They were able to get into your doctor's or your insurance company and they stole it. So always hang up on suspicious calls. Never share your personal health information or Medicare information with an unsolicited caller. You need to protect your Medicare card number like it's a credit card. All right. And always review your Medicare summary notices and statements to see if there's anything that doesn't make sense on there. Equipment that you actually didn't need or services that you never actually got, because that could be an indicator that your Medicare or your health care information was stolen. So watch out for these Medicare scams. They're a big problem. Big problem. Like I said, every week we're hearing more and more about these. So be aware. Don't fall for these. See, Dave in the chat said, you covered it all and more. Nice to cover the scam before it becomes more popular, alerting those that are thinking about participating. They're just as fault as a scammer. Yeah, and a lot of people, they might not realize it, but if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Right. So definitely watch out for those types of scams. Shout out to Dave again for recommending we cover that scam, because I really didn't find much information out there about that one. So appreciate it. Next scam we're going to talk about, kind of sticking with the government impersonation theme here, is tax and IRS impersonation scams. That's when fraudsters impersonate tax authorities, claiming that the victim owes taxes, must pay immediately to avoid penalties. They demand payment in untraceable methods. Sometimes they'll say you're entitled to a refund, but they want you to confirm your bank account details. Right? There's all these clever ways that they impersonate the IRS to steal your banking details and your personal information. Sometimes they send you false statements, fake statements saying that they're IRS. And we have a couple text message versions of this scam right here that I'm going to share with you. The first one, you see it impersonates the Internal Revenue Service. It says, you're eligible to receive a $1,400 economic impact payment. Please provide your accurate personal information. It says, we'll deposit the amount into your bank account or mail a paper check within 1 to 2 business days. And that has the fake link that they make look like it's the IRS. Look what they do. See how it starts off, this fake link here? It starts off by saying www.irs.gov, right? Because that would be the legit IRS site. But then it continues .subsidy-ion.com. And that's actually a fake website, right? But they started off with the irs.gov portion to make it look like, at first glance, that, it really does point to irs.gov, but it doesn't. It's actually a completely different website. So it's a clever little tactic that they use to make you think that it's a link to the IRS website, but it's not. Don't click it. You should never click links that you weren't expecting in text messages or emails, right? If anything, go directly to the website yourself. Go directly to irs.gov instead of clicking the link. Okay. And the second example here impersonates the Colorado Department of Revenue. And also notice how it came from a phone number outside of the US. Right? It comes from the 63 country code. That's actually a country code for the Philippines. Right? So a lot of these scam text messages, when you see this, that it comes from a country code outside of the US, that's a big red flag. All right. But this example here, the scam, Colorado Department of Revenue, your refund request has been processed and approved. Please provide accurate payment information by October 22nd. We'll deposit the funds in your bank account or mail a paper check within 1 to 2 business days. And there's that fake link. They put the word Colorado in it to try and make you think, maybe it really is Colorado Department of Revenue. But it's not, right? It's a scam. Never trust those links that come in. No matter how legit these text messages may look or feel, don't trust them, right? And the IRS, Department of Revenue, isn't how they contact you anyway, right? You want to get some kind of unsolicited message saying, hey, click this link, confirm your details. It's a scam. And the third example here, New Jersey Department of Taxation. Again, this one came from a 6-3 country code, the Philippines, all right? And says your refund request has been processed and approved. Please provide accurate payment information by September 16th. Funds will be deposited in your bank account, right? So it's, all three of these are the same kind of scam, right? But notice how they impersonate 3 different tax authorities, right? The Internal Revenue Service, the Department of Revenue, the Department of Taxation, right? Same scam and same trick, trying to steal your bank account details by making you think you're going to get money back, right? Great news, you're getting a refund. Just give me your bank account. Don't trust it, right? And even though I'm just sharing these text message examples with you, this type of scam, you have to have your guard up all around, right? Phone calls that impersonate the IRS, emails that impersonate the IRS, not just text messages, right? Anything impersonating the IRS, anything involved in the IRS, be suspicious. Confirm it through official channels. Go to irs.gov directly. Never click the links. Never give out your personal information over the phone. Okay, don't fall for these types of scams. In worst case, they steal your personal information, right? But best case, they steal your personal information. Worst case, they steal your money, right? They get into your bank account and steal your funds. There's been cases of your tax returns getting stolen by scammers because you didn't file them yourself quick enough, and scammers file them first. So watch out for these IRS impersonation scams. They're rampant all year long, especially during tax season. Another variation is, the phone calls that say there's tax forgiveness available for you. They try to make you think that you're entitled to some kind of tax forgiveness, but they're really trying to steal your personal details and your bank account details. So anything to do with the IRS or taxes, be suspicious. Don't fall for it. Next one here, we're going to talk about Social Security impersonation scams. This one's been picking up a lot too. Scammers impersonate Social Security and claim there are problems with the victim's number or benefits. They threaten action unless immediate payment or information is provided. And just like these IRS scams, they'll send out fake emails that appear to be a Social Security statement or an update for you. All right, but they're dangerous links. You click those links, you get malware on your device, or you get taken to a website that steals your personal details. And some common scam narratives, they'll say it's a new statement and try to get you to click a link. This example right here that we'll discuss in a second. They'll say there's a problem with your account or payment due. Sometimes they'll say that there's changes or updates to your Social Security benefits, right? But I need to verify information. Again, there's that type of scam. They're targeting you over the phone. They're targeting you with emails. They're targeting you with text messages. You got to keep your guard up all around. Anything I would do with Social Security. And you can see here, there's a real example of a scam email that impersonates Social Security. And it comes in, it says, to see your statement, please download the file from this link. And the link looks like it points to ssa.gov. See how the text on this example is www.ssa.gov? But just because the text says that, the link doesn't point there. If you hover over the link, you can actually see it points to a completely different website of letters and numbers. That's a common trick that these scammers use. They make the text of a link look like it points to the website, but when you click it, it goes to a completely different site. And in this case, it's going to install malware on your device, a virus or malware on your device. And the email says, we hope you find your new statement useful and informative. Thank you for using Social Security Administration's services. And what's interesting about this scam is it was first reported to us back in 2025, February 2025, so over a year ago. But we still see reports of this exact same email, this exact same scam every week. So it's a very common scam, important to watch out for. And look, if you think that this is a legit notice, you get an email like this, don't click the link. Instead, go to ssa.gov directly. Open your browser, type it in directly. Right? You never want to trust links in an email. If you could avoid clicking a link, then don't click it. Right? It's always best to just go directly to the website and type it in manually. So watch out for these types of Social Security impersonation scams. Never share personal information, replying to the emails or giving out your information to an unsolicited caller. Again, you can't trust caller ID. You get a phone call that says Social Security. That doesn't mean it really is. We know that scammers can manipulate what caller ID shows. So be aware. Don't fall for this type of scam. How we doing out there? Say hi in the chat if you just joined. It's good to see you. We do this live stream every week, every Thursday. Spread awareness about common scams that target you, your friends, your family. Support what we do here. Purchase some merch on our merch store. We got some coffee mugs available, mouse pads, stickers, water bottles, some cool stuff. Helps support the mission over here. We also have super chats enabled on YouTube and monthly memberships too. Shout out to Dave. He's one of our monthly members. Always appreciate you. And everything helps. You can also donate directly. Scamaware101.com/donate. And make sure to join our free mailing list if you haven't yet. So scamaware101.com, hit join mailing list. It's free to join. And we'll send you some useful scam awareness tips. Next scam we're going to talk about here. Undeliverable package scams. We see this one pick up a lot during the holidays, but again, all year round, but especially during the holidays, and it's important to be aware of. Right now, right, we have, what is it? It's in the middle of, isn't it Amazon Day or whatever, where there's always Amazon deals, right? So there's probably going to be a lot of undeliverable package scams circulating now because a lot of people are expecting packages from Amazon. Right? Basically, how this works is victims receive fake notifications about undeliverable packages, and they're asked to click a link to resolve. But the link opens a fake website impersonating UPS, FedEx, USPS, Amazon, right? And any personal or financial details provided by the victim are stolen by scammers. There never was a package. All right, it's a spray and pray scam. Scammers know that they send out enough of these text messages to people. A certain number of those people are going to be expecting packages and might click the link. All right. But any information you enter gets stolen. Your payment details, right? They're going to say you have to pay $2 to reschedule delivery, but they're actually stealing your payment details. Okay, and here's a couple examples of these undeliverable package scams here. And this first one, it impersonates UPS Ground. It says, reschedule your shipment delivery. We attempted to deliver your UPS package on June 23rd. 23rd. A little typo there. That's always a red flag when you see misspellings like that. But we're unable to contact you, and delivery could not be completed. Your package needs to be signed for in person, so please reschedule delivery by doing the following. And it's got the link to the fake website. And look, notice there's another little trick they used on the fake website. See how they started off with www.ups.com, but then there's an @ symbol, right? And what's interesting about this tactic is anything before the @ symbol is not part of the website, right? The website is actually packages-board.cc, and packages is spelled incorrectly, right? But anything before the @ symbol doesn't get registered when you click it, right? Instead, it's going to take you to packages@board.cc, which is the fake website. But they try to make it look like it actually points to ups.com. That's another clever trick that these scammers use to trick you into clicking links. The second example here has a file attachment. So you get a text message as an HTML file attached, which, by the way, Cybersecurity 101, never open attachments from someone you don't know and attachments you weren't expecting, especially if they're HTML attachments, right? Because those can be dangerous. Those can install viruses right onto your device. You know, best case, it takes you to a fake website. Worst case, you get infected with a virus, all right? And this is a pretty legit looking scam, right? It has a USPS logo there. It says, dear customer, your package has arrived at the distribution facility, but we're unable to deliver it due to incomplete address information. Please click on the HTML file above to update your address. Don't do it. You click that file, you get infected with malware. So watch out for these undeliverable package scams. Never click the links. Never open the attachments, right? If you're concerned it's real, which it's not, right? Because you'll never receive text messages like this from UPS, USPS, right? This isn't how they contact you. The only way you would ever get a text message like this is if you requested an update on a specific package. They don't get sent to you automatically, right? So if you just get some random text message saying you have an undeliverable package and click this link, it's a scam. It's 100% a scam, right? UPS, FedEx, USPS, they'll never send text messages like these to you, right? It's a scammer. Okay, so always verify independently. Reach out to your post office or UPS if you're concerned that it's real. But again, it's not. It's a very common scam, right? So don't fall for this. Don't click that link. You know, any payment details you enter will get stolen, right? And then scammers are going to use it. We have a cool little infographic we created about this scam. All right. It's a little guide to how the USPS delivery scam works. You get the text message, directs you to a fake website. They ask for a small payment for redelivery, like $2 or $3, right? But it's not real. They're actually stealing your payment details. Right? And then they're going to go purchase like a $5,000 TV or something, right? Or what they're going to do is then they're going to go do a half off scam. They're going to use your credit card to purchase somebody else's merchandise, all right? This is one of the things that they do to launder money. There was an interesting article on Wired a year or two ago about a computer tech. His wife fell for this scam. And what he did was he actually hacked into the group that did this scam, right? He had the website and he was able to get into their network. And what he discovered was they almost had 500,000 credit cards, stolen credit cards on file, right? So this scam was very lucrative. And that was only a couple of years ago. It's gotten much worse and much more profitable over the past couple of years, right? So always be aware of this. Red flags. UPS won't send unsolicited texts. They'll never send links and attachments for you to click, right? They don't require payment for redelivery. You know, be aware of those red flags. And bonus tip, this scam isn't just limited to USPS, right? It's FedEx, UPS, Amazon, DHL, all sorts of delivery services. So be aware of it. Don't fall for it. Next scam we're going to talk about, fake promotion scam. We actually have a phone call voicemail example we're going to play for you, this one. But this is when fraudsters impersonate a service provider and they offer the victim a discount for paying with a retail gift card, right? Victims are tricked into purchasing gift cards and sending them to the scammer. They think that they're getting a big discount on their bill, right? But it's a scam. And how it works is the scammer contacts the victim first and they'll impersonate a service provider like Comcast or Spectrum or Verizon. They're impersonating all these different service providers now at this point, right? And they'll say that your current deal is going to expire. A lot of times they'll say today, You know, your 50% discount expires today, right? But they'll say, but we have a new promo going on with Target. So what you have to do is you have to pay with a Target gift card, but you have to pay for a year of service, right? So they'll send you over to Target or to Walgreens to purchase a gift card, right? And they'll have you purchase like a $500 gift card or two $500 gift cards, you know, a year's worth of service, right? And the whole time they're impersonating the provider, they're impersonating Comcast, for example, right? And you give these gift cards to the scammer thinking that you're getting them to Comcast. And that's how this scam works. And we actually have a phone call example that that leads to this type of scam. So let's take a listen. If you get a phone call like this, it's a scam.
Hello, this voicemail is from Comcast Xfinity. Your current 50% discount on your monthly bill will expire by the end of the day. To maintain your reduced rate, call the number on your caller ID immediately. This is your final reminder to act. Call back now. Thank you.
All right, so let me know in the chat if you've received any phone calls like that. But it's not just Comcast they're impersonating now. There are a lot of Spectrum is a common one, Verizon, T-Mobile. There's lots of different variations of this phone call going out. And if you call back that number or press 1 to be connected, right, you're actually going to talk to a scammer. They impersonate Comcast. They impersonate the service provider. They tell you about this fake new offer, right? Get 50% off if you pay with a Target gift card. But it's a scam, right? You get a phone call like this. What you do is you don't call back the number that they tell you to. You don't press 1 to be connected. What you do is call your provider directly, right? If you want to confirm that this is a scam. But this type of phone call, you'll never get it from a legit service provider, right? It's a scam. So be aware of this one. You know, anything involving gift cards, huge red flag, right? Scammers love to get paid in gift cards because it's very hard to get those funds back. We have a couple victims' experiences right here regarding this. So a victim said, they offered me 50% off my bill for 6 months if I paid with gift cards. I gave them the numbers and realized later I was scammed. Another person said, my elderly parents were offered a lower rate on their internet service, but had to buy gift cards and call back with the numbers. All right, so it's a scam. Don't fall for it. Lots of this one going around and circulating. We've actually seen some media coverage about this one too on some of the major news outlets. Yeah, if you're watching, say hi, let me know. We're streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Monitoring the YouTube chat. So give me some reactions. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Make sure to join our free mailing list on scamaware101.com. It's free to join. We'll send you some reminders about the weekly live streams, useful scam awareness tips. Best way to keep up to date with what's going on out here. So check out scamaware101.com. Click join mailing list. And while you're there, make sure to follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Now we're on YouTube, Blue Sky X, Facebook, Threads, Instagram. We have links to all the official profiles here on our website. Just trying to put something good out there, you know? And by the way, we're streaming at least until 8 o'clock, so plenty of time to get some more people invited here and learn about these common scams that are targeting you all day long. Next scam we're going to talk about here, tech support scams. These are a big problem. A lot of older folks losing their life savings to this scam here. So this one's important to know about. Is when victims receive fake virus alerts on their device, whether it's their computer, their phone, right? And the virus alert pops up and it says, warning, you're infected. Call this tech support phone number. Sometimes it'll block out your whole screen and it'll start blasting through your speakers. You're infected. Call tech support. You're infected. Call tech support, right? But if you call this tech support number, you get connected to scammers, right? They'll impersonate Microsoft, McAfee, or other antivirus companies, but it's actually a scammer. Right? And what they're going to do, one of the first things they do is they say, hey, let me connect your device to remove this virus. Right? But once they're on your device, it's all bad news from there. Right? Just to give you an idea of what a big problem this type of scam is. Consumers aged 60 plus, so just the older folks out there, lost $159 million to this scam in 2024. And the new numbers for 2025 are even bigger. I got to get the slide updated here. But every year, more and more is lost to these scams. And that's just the older folks out there. Fun fact, it's not just the older folks that fall for scams. In fact, the younger folks out there fall for more scams than the older folks, right? But The older folks lose more money because they had more money saved up for retirement and savings. But the younger folks fall for more scams, believe it or not. They really do. But here are some examples of these fake virus alerts that you could get. All right, here's the first one. And the dangerous thing about this too is that these could target Mac, Safari, Windows. It doesn't matter. It targets phones. It targets your computer. You know, there used to be this old misconception that, oh, I'm on a Mac, so I'm safe. Not anymore, people. Not anymore. So in our first example here, it targets Mac users and even has a Safari logo, right? It's virus found. Your Mac computer has 13 infections. Please call tech support as soon as possible. It has all these scary things that are going to supposedly happen if you don't. Just try and get you to react, right? They say data at risk, your credit card number, banking information, your email and password, Facebook, private photos, your webcam could be accessed, right? All this scary stuff is going to happen if you don't call this tech support number, supposedly. But this is a scam. You call that tech support number, you get connected to a scammer. You know, they'll impersonate support, but they're actually going to get onto your device. They're going to try to steal all your money. All right, McAfee antivirus. This isn't real. This is a fake virus pop-up. Looks legit. Has McAfee's logo, their colors. Your PC is infected with viruses. Action required. Call McAfee helpline. It's got a 888 number to call, but that's not McAfee's helpline, right? It actually calls a scam call center where there's tons of scammers waiting to try and take your money. Here's another one. Impersonates Windows Defender. Has a Microsoft logo, the Windows Defender logo. Access to this PC has been blocked for security reasons. Call Windows support at, and it's got a number to call. It's not Windows support, right? It's actually got to call a scam call center, and they're going to impersonate Windows and Microsoft, but it's a scam. And look, the thing about this type of scam is this isn't a case where they're just going to try to scam you out of $100, right? It evolves into a larger scam, right? Once you get on the phone with them, they go into this whole narrative. They say, your identity has been stolen. Somebody has access to your bank accounts and all your money. You need to transfer it now to secure it. Sometimes they'll impersonate government agencies or say they transferred you to somebody from your bank, right? But the whole idea is once they get you on the phone, they're going to try to take everything you have. Everything. Your retirement money, your savings money. It's heartbreaking to hear somebody's stories of the losses that people face because of this scam, right? So look, you get these pop-ups, whether it's on your computer, your phone. The big giveaway that you could tell, the big tell that it's not a real virus alert is it has a phone number to call. Real virus alerts don't have a phone number to call, right? That's the key, right? You see one of these pop-ups that has a phone number, it's fake. It's not a real virus alert, right? Close it out, restart your computer, hold down the power button on your computer until it turns off if you can't close the windows, right? And look, never let a stranger connect your computer. Never call some random number and let them connect your computer. They can do very bad things. And we're going to talk about that in a little more when we go over some red flags. So watch out for this scam. Make sure your loved ones are aware of this scam. We have a video about this one on our YouTube channel. So go check that out, share it, like it, and all that good stuff. And here's another variation of that is a malicious app download using fake virus alerts. Okay. That example tries to trick you into calling a phone number. This one tries to trick you into downloading a malicious app, right? You get a pop-up, has security warning or says you're infected with a virus, and it says download this app to clean it up. Now, we have a couple examples of those here that we're going to show you. Doesn't matter if you're on an Android device, an iPhone device, you're all susceptible to this type of fake pop-up. These are just website pop-ups, but they're designed to look like system alerts, right? You see the first one, your system is heavily damaged by 2 viruses. 2 harmful viruses from recent adult sites soon will damage your phone's SIM card and will corrupt your contacts, photos, and data applications, right? Scary stuff. And then they try to get you to download, click repair to download a malicious app. That's actually going to install a virus on your computer, right? You never want to download an app from a pop-up. And there's 2 different versions. So always be suspicious of any kind of virus alert pop-ups and system warnings that pop up. All it takes is 1 click. Really, 1 click and you're infected. So don't fall for this one. Make sure your loved ones don't fall for this one. And look, what I always tell people is if you ever get one of these alerts, you should already have in mind who you're going to call for help, right? You should already have your tech support person in mind. So there's no reason to click and download the app. There's no reason to call these malicious phone numbers that claim to be support, right? You should already have that person in mind who works on your computer. Maybe it's the computer shop, the local computer shop, right? Maybe it's that family member that's good with computers. Maybe it's someone from work, right? But you should already have somebody in mind who you're going to go to if you're concerned about a pop-up that's warning you about your computer, all right? So watch out for these fake virus alerts, whether they try to get you to call a phone number or to download an app. That's a common scammer tactic, and a lot of people losing money to this one. Just join and say hi in the chat. Give us a quick like. Let us know you're watching. Do this live stream every week, trying to spread awareness about scams that target individuals because there's so many of them. We go over like 25 different scams on this live stream every week. So join the free mailing list. Share it. We appreciate it. This next scam we're going to talk about, this is actually snail mail scam. It's a secret survey check scam, otherwise known as a mystery shopper scam. And hey, if you think that scams aren't still circulating in the mail through the postal service, you're wrong. It's actually pretty common now, and it's getting pretty popular again, especially with QR codes. They include QR codes on a lot of scams now. But this one, what's interesting about this scam is it actually includes a check in the envelope for you, right? So a secret survey check scam, it's a fraud scheme in which scammers mail a victim a check and they claim you've been selected to evaluate a store, like a secret shopper, right? Then the victim's instructed to purchase gift cards using a fraudulent check. Notice the gift cards again? Always a red flag. So many clever ways these scammers use to get people to buy gift cards, right? They love getting gift cards. And this is a real example here of this scam. You can see it's a real letter that I took a picture of. And it impersonates Walgreens and CVS. And basically it says, congratulations on your accomplishment. Your package contains what you need to complete this first secret survey assignment. So have fun, make money, and help us improve global customer service, right? And how it works is in the envelope, there's an actual check, right? And a check is for, in this case, it was for $2,480, right? So someone gets a check in the mail like that. Whoa, if they don't realize it's a scam, they might think, wow, this is great. I already got the check in hand and this is wonderful, right? And how the letter works, how the scam works is the letter instructs them to deposit the check, right? And then within 24 hours to purchase 4 gift cards at $500 each. So that's $2,000 worth of gift cards, right? And then they say the victim gets to keep the extra $480 as their commission for doing it, right? So it sounds like easy money, right? Someone gets a letter like this, their check's already in the letter. All they got to do is run to the store. Then they email the gift card numbers to the supposed customer service rep running this, right? But it's a scam. And what happens is the victim rushes out to the store, purchases the gift cards. And the reason why by the way, the letter also says, if you carry out this survey within 12 to 24 hours, you'll be entitled to receive a $200 bonus, right? Because they want the victim to act quickly. Because what's going to happen is, sure, the victim's going to deposit the check. And at first, it seems like it works, right? The funds show up in the victim's bank account. All right, great. The funds are there, right? They run to the store within 12 to 24 hours, purchase the gift cards, send them to the scammer, all right? And they think, hey, I just made easy money. I just made an extra $450 and a $200 bonus. But what happens a day or two later, which is why they try to rush you within 12 to 24 hours, a day or two later, your bank rejects the check, bounces it, returns it, right? And the funds, that $2,400, disappears from your account. And you already sent the gift cards to the scammer. You're not going to be able to get that money back. So now you're $2,000 in the hole. And to add insult to injury, if your account overdrafts, you get hit by a charge from the bank too. Right? Just add insult to injury. What's interesting about this letter, this scammer asks for Apple gift cards, Razer Gold gift cards, Nike gift cards, Steam Wallet gift cards, right? And they instruct the victim to purchase 4 of them. Sometimes they tell them to go to 2 different stores, and they do that so it avoids suspicion. Less chance the teller might mention, hey, this could be a scam. That's a real example here. And this is a example of a check that you would get too, right? $2,480. So people get a check in the mail, and some people think like, oh, wow, this is great. They think it's a sign that it's not a scam. The check's already there. It's actually a sign that it is a scam. All right, it's a big red flag if you get a check in the mail that you weren't expecting, especially for a mystery shopper service that you didn't even sign up for or apply for. All right, so that's how the scam works. And we have a victim's story here, a little note here that I saved. The victim said, I received a USPS priority mail containing a letter on Whole Foods letterhead. Right, so the example I showed you impersonates Walgreens and CVS, but they're also impersonating Whole Foods as well. had a cashier's check for $1,955. In their case, they were told to purchase 3 500 Apple gift cards. Right, so it works the same way. They're just going to lose $1,500 when that check bounces or gets rejected. So look, always be skeptical of unsolicited offers. Verify before you act. Never deposit random checks that came in the mail. Okay. And again, anything mentioning gift cards, huge red flag. Always a huge red flag. And notice the pressure to act fast too, where they're trying to get you to act within 12 to 24 hours. Big red flag as well. So be aware of this one. It's an example of a snail mail scam. Uses the postal service. There's many other scams that use the postal service too. To be aware of. Don't think that just because something got mailed to you directly, to your mailbox, that you can trust it. Scammers are doing that too. It's what they did before the internet, right? And they're still doing it now. Say hi in the chat. Give me some reactions. Let me know you're watching. The more the merrier. Still time to share this live stream. We're going for at least another hour and a half or so. So still lots of good scam awareness tips coming up. A bunch of red flags. A lot more common scams we're going to be discussing and going over. If you're watching over there on Facebook and Instagram, say hi in the chat. But hop on over to YouTube. We're monitoring the YouTube chat more. So I'm not really seeing too many comments in Instagram and Facebook. I got my eye over on the YouTube chat. So hop on over there. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. It really does help. Just trying to put something good out there, spread awareness of these scams. It's important that people are aware of these. All right. So let's talk about inheritance scams next. And this is another snail mail scam. Right. Victims are contacted with claims of a large inheritance from an unknown relative, but to claim it, they must pay fees or provide personal details. Okay. Here's an example, a real example of one of those scams. A real letter that was received. It's got a logo up top. It looks like it's from a law office. It looks like a very professional letterhead, right? And basically they say they're with a law firm. One of their clients passed away. The client shares the same last name as you, right? And you're entitled to a $10.8 million inheritance. Okay. This is one of those, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is scenarios, right? And what's interesting about this letter is it's actually, they pay attention to detail, right? It'll be addressed to you. It'll say dear, and it'll have your name, your first name, your last name, right? And then they'll make sure when they mention a client, which in this case, they say it's the late Dr. Maria, whoever, they make sure the last name matches the last name that your last name, right? The last name where it says dear and then your name. So they do pay attention to detail, and they do that to try and make it more convincing. So someone gets this letter and they think, well, it matches my name, right? So they think they're entitled to $10.8 million inheritance. But what ends up happening is to claim this inheritance, they're going to try to get you to pay fees and taxes first. And think about the fees and taxes on a $10.8 million inheritance, right? It's a lot of fees and taxes. But if somebody thinks they're going to get $10.8 million, they might pay that up front. That's when the scammer disappears, steals all that money, and then you don't get the inheritance because it was fake, right? And this letter actually says that their client and your relative was a COVID-19 victim, right? Died about 4 years ago. No one's come forward to claim the insurance policy, and since you share a last name, you're entitled to it, right? But just because you receive this letter in the mail, in your mailbox, doesn't mean you could trust it, right? It's another example of a very common snail mail scam that's circulating right now, right? So always be suspicious of any unsolicited contact. It doesn't matter if it's a text message, phone call, right, email, or an actual physical letter delivered to your mailbox, right? You always have to be suspicious. Okay. Verify independently, never pay up front, protect your information. Okay. Oh, one more note about this one. So in the last paragraph, it says, this claim requires a high level of confidentiality, right? That's a red flag too. A lot of scammers, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, they always request secrecy, confidentiality, right? But the reality is they just don't want you talking to people. They know the more people you talk to, the more likely you'll be told it's a scam, right? So it's always a red flag if somebody's asking for secrecy, confidentiality, right? So watch out for this scam, these inheritance scams. Extremely common. It can be very convincing because of the actual letter that lands in your mailbox. Right, don't fall for it, and definitely don't pay any fees up front, right? You should never have to pay any fees up front for a real inheritance. You'll pay after the fact. And very common scam. This example is from 2024, November 2024. Every week, we see reports of the exact same letter being sent out. Right? So it's one of those scams that just keeps on circulating. So be aware of it. Warn your loved ones. Don't fall for it if you suddenly get a letter in the mail saying you got a big inheritance. This next scam we're going to talk about is an expiring rewards point scam. Right? It is one of those scams where the scammers, they impersonate Verizon or T-Mobile or Spectrum or other service providers, and they claim you have reward points that are about to expire. A lot of times they'll say they're going to expire within the next 24 hours, next 12 hours, next 24 hours. Okay. And then the victim is directed to a realistic looking website to redeem the points. But it's actually a fake website. And a lot of times what it'll do is it'll say, redeem 10,000 points, get an iPhone, but just pay for shipping. That's how they steal your payment details. They make you think you're getting a very expensive product. It's a great deal. You're getting it for free by exchanging these fake reward points, right? But they're going to ask you to enter your payment details for shipping. And that's how they steal your payment details. So we have a few scam reports about this one here, an example, right? You see this text message example, T-Mobile, last 12 hours, 11,430 points will expire permanently. Hello, customer, final system alert. Your 11,430 points will be zeroed out at 2,400 hours on January 11th. And it's got the link to the fake website. But any payment details you enter are going to get stolen. Look, if you get a text message like this, it's fake, it's a scam. But if you want to confirm, reach out directly to your provider. If they're impersonating T-Mobile, reach out directly to T-Mobile. Don't click the link. Don't call any numbers the text message says. Instead, reach out directly to the provider and say, hey, I got this text message, and they'll turn around, they'll tell you it's a scam. Right? But be aware of these reward points expiring scams. We're starting to see more and more of this type of scam popping up. A couple notes from victims here, or people that were targeted with the scam. It took me to the Verizon website with products to purchase using our points. The site looked professional and very authentic, right? So in that case, that was impersonating Verizon. The website looked legitimate. Asked for credit cards, for shipping fees, asked for zip code and PIN. The transaction doesn't complete. I had to cancel 2 cards, and unfortunately we caught it. Or fortunately we caught it quickly before no charges were made, right? And then they attempted to use the card for multiple more transactions after we froze the activity. So, look, very common scam. Don't fall for it. A lot of red flags. What they'll say is it'll be urgent language. You know, last 12 hours, time is running out, act now. Threats to lose the points. Your points could be zeroed out, right? Of course, suspicious links. You never want to click on links that you weren't expecting. All right. Requests for your credit card details, zip code, PIN. So, always verify directly if you're concerned if you think it's real. But don't fall for this type of scam. Say out in the chat. Let me know you're watching. The more the merrier. I want to hear from you. We do this live stream every week. Spread awareness about active scams that are circulating. I want to hear if you're being targeted with these, if you have friends that are being targeted with these. If there's a scam you want to hear about, let me know in the chat, and we'll discuss that one too. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe. It really does help. Gets the word out. Oh, and don't forget to join the free mailing list. Scamaware101.com and click join mailing list. Free to join. We'll send you some scam awareness tips, reminders when we're going live, all good stuff. And of course, follow us on your favorite social media. YouTube, Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, X, Instagram. We're on them all, except TikTok. This next scam we're going to talk about here. Fake Evite scams. This one's been picking up a lot. Got some reports about this one and started seeing it circulate a lot more in the past couple months. There are these fake Evite scams. Basically, scammers send fake Evite emails impersonating popular services like Evite and Punchbowl. The realistic-looking emails include a malicious link that downloads malware or steals a victim's login details. I have a couple examples of this one we're going to share too. But what's interesting about this scam is how it works is you get the email, right? And it includes, here, let me zoom in for you. You get the email and it looks very legit. It has the Punchbowl logo or the Evite logo. And it says, you're invited. Right? It has the envelope with a stamp, looks all fancy like that. And then it has the buttons to open the invitation or to view the invitation to RSVP. But how it works is if you click that link, it's going to either infect you with a virus. Right off the bat, it's going to infect you with malware. Or it's going to take you to a fake login page that steals your email login. All right. And then what happens is how this scam spreads, and this is why it's kind of reported in groups of people, is once it infects you or steals your email login, it emails the same scam to everybody in your contacts, right? So that's why it gets reported as groups being affected with this, because one person gets infected, and then without knowing it, all their friends and family end up getting targeted too. Anybody they have in their contacts, right? So that's how this Evite scam, this fake Evite scam, spreads. Right, so you always gotta be careful, with emails that you weren't expecting, suspicious links, generic greetings, right? Unexpected invitations. You get one of these Evites, instead of clicking the link and trusting it right away, reach out to the person directly who supposedly sent it and ask them. Say, hey, did you send me this Evite on purpose? Is this real? Right? Because they might not realize they got infected, and now they're emailing all their friends, unknowingly with these scam emails to infect them. All right. One of the other things is that a real Evite from evite.com or punchbowl.com, a real Evite will actually come from an email address at evite.com or at punchbowl.com. It won't actually come from your friend's email address. So that's also one of the tips that you could tell it's a scam. If it comes from a friend's email address, from the actual email address, chances are they're infected and they're sending out these Evites without realizing it. So it's a big red flag if you get these Evites and it comes from an address that isn't evite.com and isn't punchbowl.com. All right. Also, cybersecurity tip, always enable multi-factor authentication. I know it annoys some people, but you need it. You have to enable multi-factor. This way, if it does steal your login, at least it's an extra layer of security where the scammer can't get in. They still have to verify with a code that gets sent to your phone or use an authenticator app. All right. So always important to enable multi-factor authentication on your accounts, especially your email account. Because once somebody gets into your email account, they can kind of reset your password on any other accounts you have, right? You should actually always use a separate password for your email than anything else too. You always want to keep your email locked down and secure. But anyway, watch out for these fake Evite scam alerts. Lots of reports coming in about these. Lots of groups being targeted by these. So be aware. Here comes the soul. What's up? Welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Always happy to see you stop in here. Let's see. You're saying, I'm curious about do you want to sell your house scams? When someone calls from spoofed numbers to ask you if they want to sell, is it just to fish for people's information? That's a great question. I got to add that scam to the list here and actually get some more details about it. But I could tell you what I suspect, and there's title scams for property and houses. And I think what happens is probably the main purpose of this scam is to get that information from you, steal whatever information they need. And what these scammers actually do is they'll actually sell, they'll make fraudulent paperwork, and they'll actually sell your home and your property to someone else, right? In fact, over here in Florida, there was a lot of attention happening with that type of scam where I think the taxation department or whatever, they actually set up a separate website where you could go there and you could add yourself to notifications. So if anything happens to your home title, if somebody tries to sell the property or make changes to your title, you'll actually get notified. So that's I know that was a specific feature that was being offered by over here in Florida. I'm not sure if other states have joined on board, but I know that's a big problem is the title scams on property, homes and lands, home and land, right? Where these scammers, if they have the information they need, right, they're able to sell your property without you even realizing it, right? So I suspect that that's probably the main purpose of that type of scam where they're emailing you and texting you saying, do you want to sell your house? It's probably the gathered information. There's probably other scams too, but one of them is definitely those real estate title scams where once they have the information they need, they could fraudulently sell your property, right? We actually hear about that a lot more. I got to add that to the list and get the actual details, make some infographics about that one. So, but it's not just phishing. It's not just trying to get, it's more about what they'll do with that information when they have it. And I think they can literally resell your property without you even realizing it. right? It was such a big problem here in Florida that, again, they set up that special website where anybody that owns homes out here, you can sign up for notification if there's any changes or anything happening with your titles. So, and I've also seen news reports about, someone's land gets sold without them even realizing it. Someone buys a parcel of land and maybe they're not using it, right? They plan on building a house on it one day or whatever. And they show up one day and somebody already built a house on it. And they're like, what the heck? Where does house come from? And it's because a scammer sold the property without them even realizing it. So I remember there was a big case about that where, and it's tough because the people that bought the property, they don't realize that they're being scammed, and then they built a house on it. Right. And then the real owner comes around and says, where does house come from? Right. It's wild. So, but, yeah, so I suspect that's probably one of the main scams of why they, you get those texts about, do you want to sell your house? I'm sure there's other ones too, but that's definitely one of them. I'll add that to the list next week. Tune back in next week. I'm going to do some research on that one this week and get some more information documented about that one for you. Because I've been wondering about that one myself. What other things that they're doing with that information? Thanks for asking. Always appreciate that. In fact, maybe Dave, do you know anything about those? Maybe if Dave wants to comment on that type of scam too. He's pretty informed about these scams. A lot of times he mentions things that I didn't even realize. So next batch of scams we're going to talk about here. Social media scams. So many social media scams. I mean, it's just another method of communication that scammers could use to reach victims, just like a phone or text message or emails. And social media is just another communication method that could be used pretty much for almost all these different scams that scammers want to target people with, right? And we're going to focus on some of the main ones here that you could run into in the Facebook comments section of Facebook. The first few examples here: fake prize and sweepstakes scams. Right, you can see on the screen the examples. These are real examples. I grabbed them right off of Facebook. They're not hard to find, right? If you want, just hop on over to a lot of news articles and things the scammers are constantly posting in. But a lot of times these fake prize and sweepstakes winners, they impersonate celebrities or celebrity fan clubs or organizations, and they say, for example, in this one, congratulations, you have been selected as one of the random winners. Your name has appeared on the winning list. Please get back to me upon receiving this message. And that one impersonates a Reba McEntire fan club. Another one here, it impersonates a radio station. It says, the Eagle 100.9, Jessica, congratulations on being chosen as today's winner. Visit my page. All right, another one says Toby Mac giveaways. It says, Lorraine, you won. Visit my profile. And you know what? Every week I say I want to know if that Toby Mac thing, who Toby Mac is. So we're going to find out real quick right now, because I want to know who this Toby Mac person is and who they're impersonating. So let's go find out. Who's Toby Mac? We're going to learn something together real time. What the heck is this? Unsafe traffic. Well, I don't know why you're detecting unsafe traffic, Google. Continue. Oh, are you kidding me? I love these. All right. We're going to do a little captcha. Watch out for fake captures, by the way. If this thing pops up, it tells me hit the Windows key. We'll use it as a live demo here. Let's see. Did I get all the bikes? I think so. Probably not. All right, it's going to pop up 10 more times. No, first time. How you like that? How often do you get the captcha on the first time? All right, let's see what Google says about Toby Mac. Toby Mac. It's an American rapper. Okay. Well, there you have it. Well, Toby Mac is being impersonated with a Toby Mac giveaway. It says, Lorraine, you won. Visit my profile. Right, and how these fake prize and sweepstakes scams work. And it's not just social media. Like, you'll get phone calls, Publisher Clearinghouse. Like, they claim to be Publishers Clearinghouse. You get letters in the mail saying you won a lottery or a sweepstakes prize that you never entered. Okay, but here they are on social media. And the idea is, first of all, they're asking you to message them, right? So it bypasses the filters. If they message you directly, it'll get blocked a lot of times. So what they're doing is they're leaving comments, trying to trick these users into messaging them. And once you message them, follow them, add them as a friend, now they can communicate you and target you with the scam. And a lot of times these fake sweepstakes, fake prize scams, they work like the inheritance scams. They'll say you've won this huge prize, but you have to pay taxes and fees first. And then they steal all the taxes and fees, and you never get the prize. A lot of times they'll impersonate celebrities. Sometimes it evolves into like a romance scam, right? You actually get messages of them saying, "Hey, this is Toby Mac, and you're great." And next thing you know, you think you're in a fake relationship with Toby Mac, for example, or Reba McEntire, whatever the case may be. But yeah, you're gonna need to watch out for these types of comments. If some random person is saying you won, leaving comments or replying to your comments, it's a scam. Don't engage with them. Don't add them. Don't message them. It's 100% scam, right? It's not like you entered a sweepstakes. It's always a big giveaway that, congratulations, you won, but you didn't enter anything, right? So very common scam. I see these comments all the time on Facebook and other social media platforms. Don't fall for them. Be aware. Another common scam they see over here on Facebook and in the comments is harmful comment links. These examples right here, I see these all the time on breaking news posts, right? And what these scammers do is they leave comments on the news posts, on real news station websites or on real news station profiles, and they take advantage of the breaking news, right? Something's happening, it's breaking news, Fox or MSNBC or CNN, whoever you follow, whatever your preference is, right? They post something about breaking news, and then the scammers immediately hop on and they start saying, "I saw all unfold live. Here's raw footage they're not showing," right? And there's a link to fake website. Another one, "I managed to record the moment it happened," and there's a link to another fake website. "I froze for a second, then hit record button. This is what I saw." It's a link to another fake website, right? And you see these types of posts all the time on breaking news posts, and and they'll be on legit news profiles on Facebook, but these are all scammers. The other day, I should have taken a screenshot of it. It was so long that I didn't bother. But the other day, I was looking at a news post. I looked at the comments. 25, not even exaggerating, 25 comments in a row of all different profiles saying, "I caught it live. Click here. Here's what I'm telling you. Click here." It's such a common scam now where they're just trying to get you to visit these harmful websites. You click on the link, it infects with malware or steals your login information or tries to get you to buy something. It's a scam, right? Don't trust random links posted by people you don't know on random Facebook posts. It's a huge scam, and it's a dangerous one. Especially if it infects with malware. So watch out for that scam on Facebook and other social media pages. Hey, Matthew, good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I see you resharing all the posts. I appreciate it, man, over on the social media. I've been trying to get more active on social media, scheduling posts and things like that. So I see you resharing. So I appreciate that. I was curious, is that automatic? Are you resharing them automatically? Or are you just manually resharing them? I was curious about that. Because you're quick. I post something, boom, I see you share it. But I appreciate that. And the third scam they might run into on Facebook here, the third of many, many scams, are in the comments, requests from strangers to either message them or to send them a friend request, right? They leave comments. They reply to your comments on posts, or they leave a comment on a post that you make, right? And they request you to message them, or they request you to send a friend request. And again, the reason they do this is because if they try to message you directly, Facebook's going to block it. But if they trick you into messaging them or sending them a friend request, now they can engage with you. Now they can interact with you, right? And then they can target you with a scam. Right? It's a way for them to bypass the filters. And we see this all the time. So for example, these say, "Hello, sorry for the inconvenience. I saw your profile is really very interesting. You seem like a great person, so I'd really like to have you as a friend. I think we could keep in touch since I'm new here on Facebook. Please send me a friend request. I'm waiting to accept you." Don't send that friend request because they're going to target you with a scam, right? Another one, "Jim, I have some questions for you. Could you please send me a private message or add me as a friend? Thanks." Right? It's a scam. Once you add them or send them a message, they're going to try to target you with something. Usually a romance scam or a pig butchering scam, which they're very damaging scams. We're going to talk about those two right after this, actually, so don't go nowhere. And the third example here, "Debbie, text me on messages, please. I just want to ask you something important. It's private, if it's okay with you." It's making you wonder, like, oh, it's private. I better see what they want. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. They're just trying to get you engaging with them so they can target you, right? So, look, very common Facebook scams. Just a few of the many, many scams you can run into Facebook, right? And this is just in the comments alone. So just to some key takeaways about those. Again, never click links. It's posted by strangers. People you don't know. Can't trust them. They're going to take you to fake websites. They're going to infect you with malware, steal your personal information. Right? Fake prize scams, whether it's in the comments on Facebook or a postcard you get in the mail. Right? You need to be suspicious, especially for sweepstakes and prizes that you didn't enter. Right? It's a very common scam, especially ones that claim to be Publishers Clearinghouse or celebrities. Right? So watch out for that. And look, talking to strangers and trusting strangers. Right? We all learned as kids, and for those of you that have kids, you probably told them when they were young, you don't trust strangers. Don't talk to strangers. Right? Well, the same goes for social media. You got to be careful who you talk to on social media, especially when these strangers are reaching out to you. So watch out for these scams and don't fall for them. And now we're going to actually talk about pig butchering and romance scams, which is what a lot of these messages and friend requests end up leading to. Right? And the first one we're going to talk about here. Oh, Matthew says it's manual. Cool. Very good. You're quick, man. I saw a post like, I think it was a post at like midnight or something, and boom, I saw it reshared. I was like, all right, this guy's good. Well, I appreciate it. Next one we got is pig butchering scams. These are extremely damaging, right? It's when a scammer builds a fake relationship with victims online. Relationship, friendship, they build a trust, right? Often they start from messages like these where they say, hey, send me a message, and they start building your trust. Okay. But after they build your trust, after a couple of weeks, because this is a long-term deception scam, it's called a long-term deception scam, where they'll spend a week or two investing time into the victim and getting their trust, right? They don't hit you with the scam right away. Okay. For example, they'll target you on social media, right? Or they'll target you with a wrong number text message. If you ever wondered why you get so many wrong number texts, this is why. It's a common scam. They'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I got a wrong number, but you seem nice. Let's be friends, right? And then for the next week or two, they're going to be messaging you every day. Hey, how have you been? Telling you about their day, sending you pictures and videos. And they're going to try to get you to go onto WhatsApp, right? The continue the conversation, always a red flag. But they build up your trust first before they hit you with the scam. Okay. And then suddenly out of nowhere, after a week or two, they're going to say, hey, my uncle and aunt is an expert investor. We're making lots of money. Why don't you join our private investment group or our invitation only group, and you can make money too. Now, they already built up your trust. They already gained your trust talking to you every day. And now the victim thinks, okay, well, I can trust this person. It's not a scam, but it is, right? They intentionally put the time into gaining your trust first, right? And sometimes they'll say that they learned the trading technique overseas, and that's why they're able to make so much money, right? Those are some common storylines. If you hear those storylines, run, right? It's a scam, especially when they say their uncle or aunt is an investor, right? It's a huge common scam narrative that leads to these investment scams. And something to keep in mind about these scams is they'll direct you to a website or download an app that looks super legit, right? It'll look real. It looks like it's a legit investment app, legit website, for investments. And then what happens is you're depositing your money, usually with crypto. They'll have you deposit crypto, right? And this fake app or fake investment website, it always shows you returns, right? All the returns are fake, but it's going to show you returns every time. So the victims, they're sitting there depositing their money, depositing crypto, and they're seeing amazing returns, right? Sometimes the websites will even let you withdraw some of your money back from it. Not a large amount, but they'll let you withdraw some of it just to convince you, wow, this is really legit. I could even get my money back. Right? It's all part of scam because what they're going to do, their goal is to take everything you have. They're making you think that it's your lucky day. You discovered an amazing investment app that nobody else has access to, right? It's an invitation only. But you think you're getting these amazing returns. They're going to try to convince you to put the rest of your savings into it, your retirement fund. There's been cases where they try to convince victims to sell their car because you're going to get so much returns on it. Sell your car, invest the money, and you'll be able to buy a Lambo by the end of the week, right? But all the returns are fake. None of it's real. They'll have group conferences, right, where you'll be doing a video conference with other investors, right? But sometimes, well, it's either other scammers or they're using AI now, right? You'll be on a video call. It's AI. All these other people are actually AI videos. Right? So you think there's all this fake interest. You think there's other people that are part of a group and making money. It's all designed to make it look legitimate. Like you're getting so many returns. It's all designed to make you invest everything you have, because it make you feel like you can't lose. And that's why it's actually called a pig butchering scam, right? They're fattening the pig, right? By making you think you're getting all these returns, right? They're fattening the pig is what they call it. And then once they have everything that you could possibly invest and put into it, they butcher the pig, right? And then so now you think you made $30,000 or $300,000, right, on your return, and now you can't get the money out. Now they're not going to let you get the money. Or what they'll do, and they don't stop there. This is how ruthless these scammers are. Listen to this. All right. So let's say they're showing you invested $30,000 and you see $300,000 return, right? What was that? Like 100% return, or what was that? 100-time return? I don't know. But a huge return. Okay. And what they'll do is when you finally say, okay, I want to withdraw the funds, they'll say, as a last part of the scam before they disappear on you, they'll say, sure, you can withdraw it, but to withdraw that much, you have to pay taxes and fees first. So just as a last ditch effort to take anything else you might have left, right? And this is when they might tell you, just sell your car and then you could pay the fees and take out your money, right? It's their last ditch effort to take every last penny you have. Like, they're ruthless. They're ruthless. And that's why you hear so many horror stories about these pig butchering investment scams, because these scammers, they want to take everything you have. And they're very good at making people think that those returns are real. And people get so deep in that they just end up losing everything, right? So extremely serious scam. $744 million was lost to this investment type scam in 2024, right? And that was just folks over 60, right? That's not even the younger folks out there. And I could tell you for a fact, younger folks fall for this scam all the time. It's just the older folks have more money to get taken, right? But I know a guy personally, I think he's in his early 40s, lost 30K to this type of scam. So don't fall for it. Never send money to strangers. Don't invest in these platforms that, you know, are invitation only and private, you know, that it's too good to be true. Don't fall for it. Pig butchering scams. Big problem. Big problem. Warn your friends too. I can't tell you how many times I hear about, you know, someone says, my friend is putting all this money, you know, somebody said their uncle does investing, he's putting all this money into the app, and he's telling me about these amazing returns, right? I'm trying to warn him it's a scam. I can't tell you how many times the victims, they don't believe it's a scam until they've lost everything. It's terrible. So be aware of these pig butchering scams. They're taking everything you got out there. And it's even worse in 2025. $744 million for consumers 60 plus in 2024. It's even worse in 2025. Next scam we're going to talk about, romance scams. When fraudsters, they'll create fake online profiles, right, to establish a romantic relationship on a dating website or a dating app. Sometimes they'll message people on Facebook, like we were showing earlier, those examples where they leave you a comment saying, hey, you seem nice, send me a message. Text message scams, you get a text message that's supposedly from a wrong number. Oh, sorry, it's a wrong number, but you seem nice, let's be friends. Right? And this is another long-term deception scam. Once they get in, they build your trust over a couple weeks before they hit you with the scam, right? And in these romance scams, there's some clear, common scam narratives to be aware of that we'll talk about in a minute. But first, be aware, you know, you're going to get targeted on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, targeted on dating websites and dating apps, right? They steal people's pictures or they generate pictures with AI. You think you met somebody that's beautiful or handsome, whatever the case, right? And they're not even real. Okay, wrong number scams. Gotta watch out for them. They lead to these. And some of the common scam narratives, right? Once they get you romantically involved and gain your trust, or you get their interest, right? So they'll hit you with these common narratives of why they can't meet in person, right? And 4 of the big narratives, right? If you hear these, run. Because it's very common for the scammers to say this. They'll say they can't meet because they're in the military and deployed overseas. Very common narrative that the scammer uses for not being able to meet you, right? They'll say they're an oil rig contractor and they're stationed on an offshore rig, right? Another reason they can't meet with you. Sometimes they'll say they're an international worker and they're overseas on business, right? I read recently a victim reported that someone said that they were with Doctors with No Borders, and they were overseas, working as a doctor. Okay. So they use these common scam narratives as an excuse of why they can't meet you in person. Right? But eventually, after they gain your trust, right, and they pull the victim in, that's when they start fabricating emergencies, right, and needing money, right? They'll say that they need money for medical bills. They'll say they need money for legal issues, visa and passport fees. Sometimes they'll say, I'm finally ready to come and meet you, but I need money for flight and travel expenses. Okay. And like most scams, they'll request these unusual forms of payment, gift cards, crypto, like Bitcoin, OnePay. We're seeing more and more requests for OnePay over at Walmart. They'll tell you to go to Walmart and load a OnePay account, right? Wire transfers. These are all shady methods that scammers prefer to get paid in because it's very hard to get that money back once it's sent. All right, and the scammers know this. But the other thing to keep in mind about these romance scams, okay, again, they invest days and weeks into building trust first, right? So they'll have you hooked before they hit you with the money request. But these scammers, AI has gotten so good. And stay tuned. The next slide I'm going to show you is going to be an example of some of these crazy AI things you could do now. But these scammers, they use AI, right? They'll send you AI photos. It'll be some dude in Pakistan sending you a picture of a beautiful woman, pretending to be them. Okay. Videos. They'll send you these short videos, impersonating an interest. It's not them. It doesn't look like them. It doesn't sound like them. They could clone their voice and send you voice memos, right? The voice sounds like a man or a woman, whatever the case may be, right? But they're using AI to trick you. And it's very hard to detect now, right? A lot of people think like, oh, they're used to the AI a year ago is not the same AI today. It's evolved. It's evolved so quick, right? So I'm going to show you some examples of that in a minute, but just some key takeaways about these romance scams. Right? Never send money to someone you haven't met in person. Okay. Even if you met him in person, it could still be a scammer, but definitely never send money to somebody you haven't met in person. Okay. That's what these scammers do for a living. They have no intention of meeting you. They know how to convince people to send them money without meeting them. Don't fall for it. Okay. They impersonate celebrities and things like that. Just don't fall for it. Don't send money to someone you haven't met. All right. And again, this goes back to trusting strangers. Right? You got to be careful who you trust and talk to online. Okay. And then one final note, there's a pretty cool documentary on Netflix about this type of scam. It's called The Tinder Swindler. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out on Netflix. I mean, hundreds and thousands of dollars. One person, lost to these romance scammers. It's a big problem. Women, men, they're both targeted by these scammers. So don't fall for these romance scams. And just to give you an idea of how realistic AI is now and how scammers have fully embraced it, right? They fully embraced AI. I'm going to show you how easy it is for them to impersonate someone else or claim to be somewhere where they can't meet you. So what I did as an example is I cloned myself, right? So you can see here on the screen here, there I am. Let me zoom in a little bit for you here. There I am with a hard hat on and a bright neon orange vest, right? So here's a video of myself that's AI. So let's watch this real quick.
Hey, I just wanted to explain why I'm hard to reach sometimes. I'm back out on the rig again, and the signal out here is pretty unreliable. It's loud, it's busy, and I don't always get a chance to talk like I want to. But I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. I'm not.
I've never been on an oil rig in my life. I don't own that hard hat. I don't own that orange vest. But with the wonders of AI, that's how easy it is and how realistic it is. Right? There's my voice. That looks like me. Looks like I'm on an oil rig, right? So scammers can do the same thing. All right. And it's not of themselves. They just steal someone's picture. They create an AI video of it. And now they're sending out these AI videos to their victims. Right. And the victim thinks, well, this must be real. Look how real it is. It's not AI. Like they really are on an offshore oil rig, or they really are in the military. They really are overseas on business. It's completely fake. It's a cloned video. They stole someone's pictures that unfortunately they got the victim attracted to. And then they generated a video like this, many different videos like this to support their scams. Look how realistic. Tell me in the chat. I'm going to play it one more time. Tell me in the chat if this looks fake to you.
I just wanted to explain why I'm hard to reach sometimes. I'm back out on the rig again, and the signal out here is pretty unreliable. It's loud, it's busy, and I don't always get a chance to talk like I want to. But I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. I'm not.
The lips are synced. Like it looks totally legit. Right? If I sent this to my mother and said, "Hey, I got an oil rig job," she probably won't believe it because she knows I'm a computer nerd. But the video would be pretty damn convincing to her. She might actually believe it at that point. Be like, what? So anyway, another thing about AI to keep in mind is that voice cloning, because there's lots of scams, and we're going to talk about grandparent scams a little later and some other scams, but where they'll clone a family member's or a loved one's voice, a friend's voice, and then call you and target you with a scam, or leave you a voicemail that sounds like it's your friend. I just have a quick clip I'm going to play for you here. It's a media clip recently. It talks about how a voice could be cloned in 20 seconds, and then your friends and loved ones could be targeted by a scammer using your voice.
He says criminals just need a 20-second clip of someone talking, often pulled from social media, and they can make an eerily similar clone of their voice.
All the way to the point that a mother can't tell the difference between her own child and a machine.
It was just exactly like Noah. It was unbelievable. It's scary.
Jerry Scally got a call from his grandson Noah last month saying that he was having a very bad morning.
I said, what happened? What's wrong? He says, I was involved in a car accident and I have a broken nose.
But then Scally thought something sounded off about the voice. The person on the call spoke a little slower than his grandson, so he hung up and likely avoided a scam. His grandson was actually at school just fine.
These are sophisticated groups of people. They're often overseas. They're working out of an office building.
IDIQ says voice cloning scams are relatively new. They've only started getting reports about them within the past year.
You know, the worst part of this is every week we're getting more calls. We're seeing more victims. And the reason we're seeing more victims is because it's effective.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for the super chat, Dave. Appreciate you. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Matthew, shout out to you for sharing the channel on a few of the scam baiter pages. Always appreciate that too. You know, the scam baiters, they get so many more views than me. And, you know, it's crazy that there's only, 6 people in the live stream right now. And then I go look at other live streams and there's thousands of people and somebody's just sitting in a garage being stupid. You know what I mean? So I always appreciate it. I feel like I need more views, but the scam baiters, you know, they're entertaining. You know, more entertaining, where I'm more kind of like an educational. So it is what it is. But thank you so much for sharing the links and the super chat, Dave, too. Always appreciate you, man. So this AI cloning. Look, so we got voices being cloned. We got videos being cloned, right? And what about the text messages and emails? You used to be able to spot scam emails and texts pretty easily, like misspellings, grammar mistakes, things like that. But now they just generate them with AI, and it looks 100% legit, right? So AI has been fully embraced by scammers. It's a big threat. As a tech person, I love AI for business and things like that. But the scammers have fully embraced it too. So need to watch out for AI, and it's not the same AI from a year ago. It's important to be aware of this stuff. Next scam we're going to talk about here is employment scams. Look, the job listing promises great pay, but requires the victim to pay up front for training, supplies, or something else. It's not a real job. I have a few text message examples of this I'm going to share with you here. But this is one of those cases, again, where if it's too good to be true, probably is, right? So here's a couple examples. And these scammers, they impersonate recruiters. They impersonate businesses and online services people are familiar with. In the first example, it says, "My name is Lisa, and I'm a recruiter at CleanSpark. Several recruiting firms have recommended your resume." Now think about this. Maybe you have your resume posted online. You get a text message like this. You might think, well, wow, they really saw my resume. So here's the offer. The hours are 30 to 60 minutes per day. So half an hour. And then it says the pay is per day is $200 to $1,000 per day, not less than $10,000 per month. Right? So that's a crazy offer. Too good to be true. You know, working an hour a day, making $10,000 a month. Okay. There are 15 days, 30 days of paid annual leave. Right. But here's the big, besides how unbelievable it is, one of the big giveaways is the only contact information you leave is a WhatsApp phone number. Right. WhatsApp is always a red flag. Always a red flag when the only contact information you leave is a WhatsApp phone number. Scammers love to use these third-party chat apps, and we'll talk about that in a little bit when we talk about the red flags. The other example here, it impersonates TikTok. It says it's a TikTok recruitment center. And they're hiring 3,000 TikTok backup talents. And the same too good to be true offer, right? Working hours are 1 hour per day. with a minimum daily salary of $400. So there you go. You can work 1 hour and make $400. Pretty sweet, right? Too bad it's a scam. And the same deal with this is that, of course, the only contact information they give is a WhatsApp phone number to call. Always a red flag. Always a red flag. You know, if you get a text message and only contact info is WhatsApp. So you need to be suspicious of these texts. Real recruiters, you know, that you've never met in person and talked with or, you know, engaged with, they're not going to send you text messages about job offers, random job offers like this. All right. So don't trust if you get text messages like these. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. And a lot of times what these fake jobs do is they try to get you to pay up front for training or for equipment, right? Sometimes they'll send you a fake check and tell you to purchase a laptop and send it to them for onboarding, right? But it's a fake check, okay? And then it gets rejected after you purchase a laptop. So now you bought a laptop, sent a scammer, and you're $2,000 in the hole, right? Another thing about these employment scams, which I don't think gets enough coverage, is that a lot of scammers, believe it or not, overseas in these lawless countries are being held in scam compounds, right? Big criminal organizations are holding these people captive and forcing them to scam all day long. Sounds crazy, but it's true, right? And what happens is a lot of these people that are being held and trafficked, right? This is the dark human trafficking aspect of this whole side of things, right? A lot of those victims, they thought they were responding to an overseas job position, right? So they end up traveling to Bangkok or Thailand or something like that for an overseas job, and they get picked up, you know, at the airport from the company supposedly the job is with, and they don't realize it. They get transferred over the border without realizing they're crossing the border in some lawless country like Myanmar, right? And then they're held captive and forced to scam. And it all starts from a fake job offer text message or a fake job listing site, you know, overseas. It's pretty crazy. But so be careful with these employment scams and definitely don't trust these text messages. Research the company directly, go through official channels, right? Protect your personal information, social security number, bank details, things like that. A real job isn't going to ask you to pay for something up front, right? They're not going to ask you to deposit crypto or money into a task app to get assigned tasks. That's a common job scam, task scams, right? So big red flags. Don't fall for these types of scams. And unfortunately, these are becoming more common and starting to pick up because of the job market, right? A lot of people looking for jobs, so don't fall for it. Next scam we're going to talk about, fake retail website scams. Tons of fake websites out there, you know, designed to steal your payment details, especially during the holidays. Definitely watch out during the holidays for these fake retail website scams. But the scammers create these fake websites to sell products that are never delivered. It's funny. We kicked off this live stream talking about the half off scam, right, or the plug scam, and that's one of those unusual circumstances where the victims actually get the products. But in most cases, when you see an amazing offer online on a website that's offering a free wireless earbuds or a free office heater or a free MP3 player. I guess those aren't that popular anymore. I'm showing my age. But the point is, a lot of times, you're never going to get the product. They're just going to steal your payment details, right? This one picks up a lot during the holidays. So definitely be aware of this during the holidays. Or right now, for example, right, you have the Amazon Day or whatever for the next couple of days. Watch out for these fake websites that are impersonating Amazon or claiming it's some kind of Amazon offer, right? Because I'm sure those are circulating right now. They're impersonating Amazon and claiming it's part of the Amazon Day sale or to compete with Amazon, right? They might even say, you know, don't buy from Amazon, buy from local. Here's a great deal. It's a scam. You got to be careful. When it's too good to be true, it probably is, right? We mentioned that a lot on this live stream. And here's an example of a real fake retail website. Grab this one during the holidays. You can see it has the Black Friday sale banner across the top, trying to justify why it's such a great deal. But it says free wireless earbuds. Just pay $8, $8.69 for shipping. All right? But it's a scam. And that's a common narrative that these fake retail websites use is they say, just pay for shipping. You're going to get this amazing product worth $100 or $200, but just pay for shipping. All right? That's how they steal your payment details. You never get the product, and then you use your payment details for something fraudulent, right? And what's interesting is that a lot of times they want to try to get you to use your debit card instead of a credit card, Right? I think that's why they're asking for a MasterCard in this case. But because if you use your debit card, there's less protection. Whereas if you used your credit card, there's a little bit more protection as far as, disputing the charge and things like that. But watch out for these fake retail websites. Something interesting I learned is when you're typing your information in, you don't even have to click order now. When you're typing your information in, it's actually getting stolen in real time. So even if you fill out the info, you put in your credit card, and then you think to yourself, wait a minute, this is probably a scam. I'm not going to click order. It's too late. The site actually steals your details in real time as you're typing them. So I thought that was pretty interesting when I heard about that. A lot of ways you could end up on these fake retail websites to watch out for. You got the ads on social media, right? Scammers can purchase ads just like anybody else can purchase ads on social media. So you'll be scrolling through and you see an ad pop up, says free wireless earbuds. You click it, you get taken to this fake retail website, steals your payment details. Search engine results. Big problem. These sponsored listings, scammers pay for the sponsored listings or the first results. So maybe you're actually searching for wireless earbuds or some other trending item to buy somebody for a holiday, or an item sold out everywhere. It's the big holiday item everybody wants. And you search for it on Google, and the first site that comes up is a sponsored listing to a fake retail website that claims to have the item, right? They're going to steal your payment details. Emails, right? Scam emails all day long. You get these emails. They look like they're from legit retailers, legit vendors. Special offer, valued customer discount, free wireless earbuds. Click here. Take it to the fake retail website, right? Then you have the website ads and pop-ups. You could be on a legit website. Maybe it's a website you visit all the time that you know is real and legit. But that website is paying a third party for their ads, right? For the banner ads and pop-ups on their website. That third party, scammers buy an ad on third party. And now, even though you're on a legit website, there's a big banner ad that takes you to a fake website offering this product. Sadly, I see this a lot on the AARP website, right? We know that the AARP.org is a legit website, right? AARP. But whoever you're using for their ads, I've seen some scam banner ads right across the top of the page, offering discounts and coupons and things like that. That is 100% scam ads, but they're not putting the ads there. It's a third party, whoever they're using for the third party. Right? So many different ways you could end up on these fake retail websites. So many different ones all year round, but definitely have your guard up during the holidays too, right? Again, if the offer sounds too good to be true, probably is. Check reviews, see what other people are saying about the site, what their experience is. And one other note, let's say you're Googling and trying to see what people are saying about the site and nothing comes up. No good reviews, but no bad reviews, right? You just can't find anything about the site. That's as bad as finding bad reviews, right? In this case, for this website that I'm showing as an example on the screen, I did a quick search. There's no information about it at all. No reviews, no nothing. No bad reviews, no good reviews, no nothing. Because a lot of these scammers, they just purchase these domain names, these websites, and they just put them up for this purpose. They get taken down a couple weeks, in a week or two. They just put up another one. It's no big deal for them to keep on putting up these fake websites, right? And they get taken down before there's any even reviews to rely on. So not finding any reviews, not finding any information about the site is just as bad as finding bad reviews. So keep that in mind when you're researching these fake retail websites. So usually I'll take a quick coffee break, but we're about 40 minutes past the time here and I'm feeling pretty good anyway. So I'm just gonna get rid of the coffee break for now. We're gonna keep on going. I got my ghost drink here all caffeinated, so I'm good. We don't need to take a coffee break. Hey, Salerno Shelley, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Your first time joining. Awesome. Thank you for saying hi in the chat. We just got done covering a ton of scams. We got more coming up, but we're actually going to start covering some red flags right now. But we've been streaming live since 5:45, so actually 2 hours, about ready to hit the 2-hour mark here. And let's see how many scams we covered so far. Let's see. We covered the half off scam and the plug scam, which isn't getting much media coverage these days. This was pretty cool. We give a lot of information about that one. Medicare and healthcare scams, IRS impersonation, Social Security impersonation, undeliverable package scams, the fake promotion gift card scams, the fake virus alerts, mystery shopper scams, inheritance scams, reward porn scams. There's fake Evite scams. Watch out for those. right? We went over some social media scams, pig butchering scams, romance scams, showed you some examples of AI scams, cloned myself to show everybody how easy it is, right? Employment scams and fake retail website scams. So we covered a lot so far in the live stream, but we still have more to go. Red flags, you must know my ex. That's funny. All right, let's talk about some red flags here. And then after that, we're going to go into some more common scams. I was planning on wrapping up at like 8:15, but we're probably going to 9 o'clock. But that's cool. I'm going to roll with it. And I'm cool with that if everybody else is cool with that. So, all right. So let's talk about these red flags that you're dealing with a scammer. And by the way, we did a couple videos about these red flags on our YouTube channel. So if you want to warn your friends about these, your friends and family members, you go share those videos later. We got 2 red flag videos. We did 5 red flags in each. But I'm going to cover all 10 of them right now. So, red flag number 1. Scammers love to create a sense of urgency using fear and threats, right? They got to insist on immediate action. They like to create urgency using fear because people react without thinking, right? They know if they can make people panic and pressure, the victim's going to hand over money and information, right? And we see this a lot with grandparent scams, which we're going to talk about in a little bit in the live stream. But the grandparent scams, victims think their loved ones are in trouble. They think that they've been in an accident, they're in jail and need money, right? So they're quick to react. Those scammers, they create the fear, they create the urgency, and people react without thinking. So it's very important not to be pressured by threats and urgency, right? Arrest warrant scams, they make people think that they're going to get arrested. We're going to send deputies there right now to arrest you if you don't pay now. Hey, people get scared and they react, right? Bank impersonation scams. They convince victims that your money's not safe. The scammer convinces victims into thinking that a scammer always has access to your account and they're going to steal your money. You got to transfer it now, right? Otherwise, a scammer could get it. But that's a scammer telling you that, right? So they create this fear to create urgency. Oh my God, my money's not safe. I better do what the bank's telling me. I better transfer it. They don't realize they're transferring it to a scammer, right? So it's a big red flag when someone's trying to create urgency, trying to scare you and using threats, right? They're just trying to get you to react quickly without thinking. So that's a huge red flag. It's red flag number 1. Red flag number 2. They request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. This is huge. A lot of times these scammers, they have these clever stories to convince you not to tell anybody, right? And the reason why they don't want you talking to anybody, why they want to keep it secret, is because they know the more people you talk to, the more likely you'll be told it's a scam, right? So they want to keep you quiet. They don't want you talking to anybody about it. Again, we see this in a grandparent scam. They say that your relative or your loved one is embarrassed about their arrest and not to tell anybody. Clever little story to get people not to talk, right? Investment scams. They'll tell you that the price is just for you. It's a special offer, not to share it with anybody. They're just trying to get you not to tell anybody about it because somebody's going to say, hey, I know that scam. Inheritance scams, right? I showed that example earlier in the live stream where it requested secrecy, right? It says you have a $10.8 million inheritance, but this matter requires confidentiality. Who are they to tell you to keep something like that confidential? That's not up to them, but that's a scammer. They don't want you telling anybody about it because somebody might know about that scam. Right? And then there's that whole bank impersonation and the fake fraudulent activity. This is actually one of my favorite stories that they tell people. They tell them that they're investigating fraud on your bank account and the bank could be involved. We're investigating the tellers and the employees at the bank. So it's important that you not tell them what's happening. No, that's all part of scam because they know if you tell the teller, they'll say, no, that's a scam. Right? So requests for secrecy, keeping matters private and confidential, huge red flag. It's red flag number 2. Yeah, Salerno says urgency and isolation is core to the scammer's success. Very true. That's why there are the first 2 red flags that we talk about, right? Red flag number 3. They ask to connect your PC or device to investigate or assist with an issue. We see this a lot, right? Especially with tech support scams, the fake virus alerts that pop up and they say, call this number for tech support, remove the virus. You call that number, first thing they're going to do is say, let me connect your device and see the alert you're getting. But it's a scammer. Why do scammers want to connect your device? Because it's a gold mine. All right. If you save your logins in your browser, for example, if you save them in Chrome, they can extract those logins, right? Once they're on your computer, they can extract them without you realizing, right? They could steal your files, encrypt your files, hold them for ransom, blackmail you. Maybe you have some sensitive pictures or embarrassing things on your computer. They can blackmail you, right? Once they got on your PC, they have access to it all. They can try to get into your banking websites, right? Any financial information you have saved in spreadsheets or whatever, they could steal it and use it. All right. We see this with fake order scams, right? You get a notification about a fake order. You call this fake customer support number And a lot of times the scammer says, hey, let me connect to your device and see the notification that you received. They're just trying to get onto your device. And not to mention, once they're on your device, they can install software that lets them access it later. So when you're not using that computer anymore or not on your phone, they can connect and do a whole bunch of illegal stuff from your device, right? Comes back to you. Next thing you know, the cops are coming after you for doing something illegal. So you never want to let these scammers onto your device. Oh, and the other thing is these bank scammers or the fraud investigation, right? They connect to your device and they say, let me check you, log into your bank accounts and we'll check for malicious act, anything suspicious, right? So the victim's sitting there opening up each of their bank accounts, right? They think they're talking to a bank, but it's a scammer. Meanwhile, the scammer's taking notes of how much money is in each account to steal, right? So you never want to let these people you don't know, these tech support services or customer support services that just popped up on your screen, you never want to let them onto your device. It's a big red flag if somebody asks to connect to your device. And I mentioned this earlier when we were talking about the tech support scams. If something happens where somebody needs access to your device, you should already have your tech support person in mind, right? Who are you going to call? Maybe it's the computer shop down the street. Maybe it's the tech support people at work. Maybe it's that family member that's good with computers. You should already have that in mind who you're going to call. This way you don't even get tempted to let these strangers onto your device, right? So it's a big red flag. Somebody's trying to connect to your device, even if you call them, right? If you call this tech support number that pops up, don't let them on your device. It's red flag number 3. They ask to connect your PC to assist or investigate an issue. Right? Red flag number 4, and this might be one of the most important ones, because in the case of this red flag, it's your last chance to stop the scam, right? So the red flag is they request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM, right? Because think about this. Once you get past this, I mean, the next step is transferring the money, right? And once that money's sent, very hard to recover. So it's a huge red flag when they're asking you to make these unusual forms of payment, right? Scammers love getting paid with gift cards, cryptocurrency, because they know that's harder, if not impossible, for victims to ever recover the money, and they can move and transfer the funds fast, right? So it's a big red flag. Any mention of crypto and gift cards, be suspicious, right? We see this a lot. IRS and Social Security scams, any kind of government impersonation scam. A lot of times the scammers, they'll request cryptocurrency or gift cards. If that happens, rest assured it's 100% a scam, right? Government agencies, they don't accept those forms of payment, right? I don't care how popular cryptocurrency seems to be right now with people in government, they don't accept that as a form of payment, right? So if somebody reaches out to you, is telling you that you need to make a payment, you know, claiming to be a government agency, gift cards, cryptocurrency, big red flag, don't fall for it, right? Romance scams. We mentioned those a little earlier, right? A lot of times, once a scammer has the victim hooked, they'll start requesting gift cards, or they'll say they set up a shared account that they could send cryptocurrency to that they could use for their future together, right? And a lot of times the victim doesn't understand that a cryptocurrency account, it doesn't work like a bank account, right? You make a deposit into your bank account, you can withdraw it. A cryptocurrency account, if you're sending crypto to an account that you don't own, right, you're not going to be able to get that cryptocurrency back, right? So big red flag. You know, we see a lot with romance scammers. And of course, the bank impersonation scams where they're investigating fraud, they scare the victims into withdrawing the money, right? Withdraw the money and deposit it at this Bitcoin ATM. They might not call it a Bitcoin ATM, but they're going to instruct the victim to go there, deposit at Bitcoin ATM, purchase gift cards. No bank, no legit bank is ever going to ask you to go purchase gift cards, prepaid cards, or withdraw it and purchase cryptocurrency, deposit money at Bitcoin. It's not going to happen. No legit bank's going to ask you to do that. So that's a huge red flag. It's red flag number 4. And again, it's probably one of the most important ones because once you get past this point, it's kind of too late, right? Once you get past sending them the gift cards, sending them the cryptocurrency, it's very hard to get that back, right? So that's red flag number 4. They request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin ATM. Look, add Zelle, Cash App, right? Venmo, add those to the list too. All these unusual forms of payment. Big red flags. Hey, Ava, good to see you. Welcome back to the live stream. Hope you're doing good. Very cool to see you. Red flag number 5. This one's a good one, right? You get a voicemail, and the voicemail instructs you to call number displayed, call number shown on caller ID, right? Instead of actually stating a phone number to call back. right? No legit organization is going to say, call back the number shown on your caller ID, right? They're going to actually leave a phone number to call back. So it's a big red flag if you get a voicemail or a recording, a robocall that says, call number displayed, call number shown, right? Scammers do this because their phone numbers change all the time, right? The phone numbers they use are getting canceled and they got to use new ones and this and that. So for them, it's really inconvenient to have to leave different phone numbers all the time and then the phone number is not active. So instead, they just hit you with these robocalls and these recordings and these voicemails that say call number displayed. All right. Then the phone number can change however many times. You don't have to worry about re-recording it. Right. So big red flag. We see this a lot in fake order notification scams. I'm going to play you some recordings of those after we get through these red flags. We have the fake order scams coming up where we play some recordings, and those recordings, they say call number displayed or press 1. Right. Big red flags. Utility and internet cable provider scams. They impersonate your cable company, your utility company. Right. And then they say call number displayed. Right. Because they're trying to trick you and they're calling back on a fake phone number. Right. IRS and tax forgiveness scams. They impersonate the IRS. Call back on number displayed instead of actually leaving a phone number. Right. See this a lot with all different scams. But anyway, that's red flag number 5. The voicemail, it doesn't leave a number to call. Instead, it says call number displayed, call number shown. Big red flag. See it a lot. All right, we're halfway through here. That was red flag number 5. We got 5 more to go, and we're going to go over some more common scams here. And again, by the way, we have the videos about these on YouTube. So if you know someone that would benefit from reading these red flags or knowing these red flags, you can send them the videos over on our YouTube channel. We have them broken up in 5 and 5 each. Red flag number 6. Yeah, here we go. Cybersecurity 101. An unsolicited email or text message instructs you to open a file attachment. Big red flag. We shared some examples earlier in the live stream of these text messages and emails that try to get you to open a file attachment. Scammers use file attachments to bypass email and text message filters, right? A malicious email or a text message attachment, it can install malware on your device or direct you to a fake and dangerous website, right? If you don't know who sent the attachment or you weren't expecting it, don't open it. All right, that's Cybersecurity 101. Never trust unsolicited attachments that you weren't expecting, whether it's an email or text message. We see this with fake invoice scams. You get an email or text message. It says an invoice is attached, right? But if you open that attachment, you're going to get infected with malware or taken to a fake website. It steals your personal and payment details, right? We see this with undeliverable package scams. That was one of the examples we showed a little earlier. You get a text message. It impersonates USPS, says you have a package that's undeliverable and tries to get you to open an attachment, right? The example we showed earlier, they try to get you to open an HTML attachment. Very dangerous. Never open an HTML attachment, right? Especially if you weren't expecting it. Unpaid road toll scams. You know, these kind of evolved into these outstanding traffic ticket scams now, but I'm sure we all remember the unpaid road toll scams that we were getting slammed with those text messages last year for months about these unpaid road tolls. Click here, right? Well, a bunch of those used to come with an attachment too. They'd come with a malicious attachment that tried to take it to a fake website or had a document that looked official and said you have a road toll due, right? They're all scams. So watch out for that. This red flag. Never open an attachment that you weren't expecting. It's not from someone you know, whether it's email, text message, right? Big red flag. Yeah, looks like we're getting some more people in the live stream. Whoever just joined, and say hi in the chat. Let us know you're here and watching. Appreciate you all. Trying to put something good out there. We do this live stream every week, every Thursday, and we're just trying to get the information out there. You know, it's a big problem. We're being attacked by scams all day long. Our friends, our family, our loved ones. And, you know, the reason I do this is because I've been in cybersecurity and tech for the past 25 years. It's been my entire career. And I've watched businesses and companies adapt to the threat, but individuals are getting scammed left and right? Nobody's out there warning the grandparents about these scams and warning their friends and loved ones about these scams. So while I've seen businesses and companies adapt to protecting their company and training employees, right? Just regular everyday folks are still getting scammed left and right. There's not a lot of resources. And over here at Scamware 101, we believe knowledge is your best defense against scams, right? So every week we do this live stream. And by the way, you can join our free mailing list, right? Over on scamware101.com, we have a free mailing list that sends out reminders, just let you know when we're having the live streams and some useful scam awareness tips. So it's the best way to keep in touch and up to date with what's going on. Scamware101.com, just a join mailing list. Free to join and And it seems like nowadays, we're on social media too. I mean, YouTube, Blue Sky X, Facebook, Threads, and Instagram. But nowadays, it seems like anybody could have their Facebook page or Instagram page turned off like that, right? So joining the mailing list is the best way to keep in touch and know what's going on over here. So if you haven't joined yet, go check out the free mailing list, scamaware101.com. And, follow us on all the favorite social media platforms too. Appreciate it. Red flag number 7. The text message includes an instruction at the end to reply with yes and reopen the message, right? We see this a lot on pretty much all different text message scams. At the end, let me know in the chat if you've seen this, but at the end, it'll say reply yes and reopen the message. Why do scammers include that at the end of their text messages? There's a couple of reasons, right? If you reply yes to the text message, you're letting the scammer know that your phone number is active. So what they're going to do is they're just going to add you to more lists and target you even more, right? So that's why I always recommend that people never reply. Even if you know it's a scam and want to mess with them, just be aware. If you reply and mess with them, they're just going to add you to more scam lists, right? Now they know your number is active and they're going to target you more, right? So that's the first reason why they say reply yes. The second reason is some devices don't enable links from unknown phone numbers, right? Or phone numbers that aren't in your contacts. But if you reply yes, it'll enable the link. And now when that scammer sends you these malicious links, it's much easier for you to click on them accidentally, right? So it's a big red flag when you get a text message that says reply with yes and reopen the message. Okay. I listed a few examples of text messages that you could see that on, but really it's pretty much any scam text message at this point, right? I mean, outstanding traffic ticket scam text messages will have that instruction. Undeliverable package scams have that instruction. The IRS Department of Revenue scams have that instruction. They're pretty much on most scam text messages now. And it's a big red flag. So you get these text messages that they instruct you at the end to reply yes and reopen. Don't do it. Delete it. It's a scam. Red flag number 8. The caller asks to confirm personal information like date of birth, social security number, or Medicare number. We discussed all these scams earlier. We talked about Medicare scams, social security scams, showed you some examples of them. But one of the common things these scammers do is you get a random phone call, right? And again, the caller ID might say it's social security. Caller ID might say it's Medicare. Scammers can manipulate caller ID. Very important to recognize that. If you don't realize that, if you take away anything from this live stream, let it be that scammers can manipulate caller ID. They can make it look like it's social security. They can make it look like your bank. All right. But anyway, going back to these unsolicited calls that ask for information, a lot of times they'll start off the call with, we have an important update about your Medicare number, but we need to confirm who you are first. Then they ask your birth date. They'll ask your Medicare number, your social security number, things like that, right? They don't really have an update for you. It's a scam. They're trying to get your information, right? In the case of Medicare, so they can file false claims, right? So they call you up, they impersonate, and they try to get this information from you right off the bat, which is a big red flag, okay? Sometimes they'll say they have a new card that's being issued or updates to your benefits, but they need to confirm your information first. You got to hang up and then call back Medicare directly. Call back, if they're claiming to be from your doctor, call back to your doctor directly, right? But you can't engage with these unsolicited callers, especially when they start off the phone call by asking for personal information, right? We see this with healthcare scams is the big one. They call up and they say there's updates to your benefits, but they need to confirm your information, things like that, right? Government impersonation scams, they claim to be a social security number and they'll try to confirm your social security details. Date of birth, right? Don't get out any of these information to these unsolicited callers. It doesn't matter what the caller ID says. I can't trust it, right? It's a big red flag. Somebody calls you up, they start asking you personal information. Don't do it. Don't give it out. 2 more red flags to go. Hope this is all making sense, everybody out there. Red flag number 9. This one's big. They direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. Look, these scammers, they love using third-party chat apps like Telegram, Discord, WhatsApp, right? There's some common ones because it's easier to communicate with their victims all over the world, and it offers them more anonymity to hide behind, right? We see this a lot. Why would a scammer want to sit there text messaging from a number that might get turned off any day when they could get the victim over on WhatsApp and Telegram and talk to them for as long as it takes? Send them videos, send them pictures. It's much easier to scam people on a chat app than it is through like text messaging, right? We see this with romance scams. A lot of times, after the dating app or the dating website matches a victim to a scammer, one of the first things the scammer does is try to get the victim to continue talking on WhatsApp, right? We see this with wrong number scams, right? The victim gets a text message, hey, you seem nice, let's be friends. Even though I got a wrong number, but you seem nice. And they'll say, let's keep talking on WhatsApp. Okay, it's part of scam, big red flag. Investment scams, we talked about the pig butchering scams. They'll invite you to a Telegram or a WhatsApp group, right, for the investment. But the group's full of other scammers, right? And they're trying to pump up the investment and appear more legit, right? So it's a big red flag when someone you're engaging with and talking with tries to get you to switch over to a third-party app to continue talking. WhatsApp is a big one. We see that a lot, even on the employment scam text messages. The examples were shared a little earlier in a live stream. One of the big red flags was at the end. The only contact info they gave was a WhatsApp phone number, right? So it's a big red flag, these third-party chat apps. And our last red flag that we're going to talk about, red flag number 10, they ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. All right. There's no reason an individual should be telling you they're going to send a code to your phone and ask you to get that code back, right? Something shady is going on, right? It's a big red flag. They might be trying to open an account that's linked to your phone number. They might be trying to log into one of your accounts that's linked to your phone number. They might be trying to reset one of your passwords to an account that's linked to your phone number, right? The reason you get that code sent to your phone is as a security measure. There's no reason an individual should be telling you, I'm going to send a code to your phone and give it back, right? Again, we see this with account login attempts. A big one is in these bank impersonation scams, right? When you're talking to somebody on the phone and it's a scammer that's impersonating your bank, a lot of times they already know what bank you use. They might even have your login, right? But they're going to need that code that gets sent to your phone to get into your account. So what they do is they're sitting there impersonating the bank and they say, hey, I just want to verify you that we're talking to the right person. I'm going to send a code to your phone. They try to log into your bank account, sends a code to your phone. You give that code back to the scammer. You just give them access to your bank account, right? There's no reason you should ever give an individual a code that they claim to send to your phone, right? The other one is Google Voice scams, right? So these third-party apps that scammers use, they want to create these Google Voice accounts, but they need a phone number to link them to, right? So what they do is they try to convince victims to send them back a code, which lets them link Google Voice to the victim's phone number. So now, since the victim provided the code, right, as a security measure, right, the scammer now has a Google Voice account linked to the victim's phone number, and they could use that Google Voice account for fraudulent activities, right? It points right back to the victim's phone number instead of them. Right? So it's a Google Voice scam. So again, it's a big red flag if an individual is saying they're going to send a code to your phone and ask you to give it back. So don't fall for it. We see this a lot on marketplace websites, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Whatnot, right? Is that the other one? Whatnot, right? Where they impersonate a buyer or seller and they'll say, I just want to verify you're who you say you are. I'm going to send a code to your phone. It's a scam. Don't do it. That's 10 red flags to indicate you're dealing with a scammer. Don't fall for them. If you find those useful and want to warn your friends and family about those, again, we got 2 different videos, 5 red flags each. Check it out on our YouTube channel. Make sure to give them a like, share them, and send them over to your loved ones. And now we're going to continue with some more common scams. Let's see how many more we got. We got 8 more we're going to talk about. And then we're going to go check out the AARP scam tracking website. See some real-time reports coming in the past few days. You get an idea of what scams are trending, picking up, and be aware of. But first, we got 8 more scams we're going to talk about here with some real examples and reports to discuss. Arrest warrant scams. This one, so many reports of this one popping up now recently about these arrest warrant scams. They've been around for a while. We released a video about this scam like probably a year ago now at this point, but it's only gotten worse since then. And basically these arrest warrant scams, how it works is a victim is contacted by a scammer who impersonates law enforcement. A lot of times they already know information about the victim, right? And they'll say an arrest warrant was issued. They'll say that the victim missed jury duty, for example, right? And you have to pay immediately. You have to pay the fines immediately or else they're going to come arrest you, right? It could be a scary situation. It's a great example of how these scammers, they use fear to create some kind of sense of urgency. And this is one of those scams where when you get that phone call, the caller ID will show the police department. They'll show the sheriff's office or local police department, right? Even though it's a scammer. There's one of those situations where the scammer is halfway around the world, but your caller ID says it's the sheriff's office, right? You cannot believe caller ID, right? Don't let the caller ID trick you. And what the scammer does, they'll say, you missed jury duty or you failed to show in court, right? And then they'll threaten you with arrest if you don't pay immediately. Okay. They'll even, and what we're seeing more. So we warned about this about a year ago, the fake paperwork, right? So they actually have this fake paperwork that they'll text and email to the victims. It looks like it's court documents. It looks like it's warrants that are going to be issued, right? Telling them they have to pay a certain bond or whatever, right? And it's convincing looking paperwork that they actually send to victims. And that's actually what we've seen a lot more recently is just fake paperwork being sent to victims now. So even if they offer to provide paperwork, that doesn't mean you could trust it, right? This is one of those scams where somebody calls you up, says there's going to be an arrest warrant issued. They're impersonating a sheriff's office or police department. Hang up. Don't engage with them. Hang up, right? It doesn't matter how much they're threatening you and telling you they're going to arrest you if you do. Hang up. And if you're concerned it's real, call the sheriff's department back directly through official channels, right? Go call the actual sheriff's department and ask them. Be like, hey, look, somebody's calling me up saying I'm going to be arrested. Right? Is this real? They're going to say it's not. Because guess what? If there's an arrest warrant going to be issued, they're going to come and arrest you. They're not going to call you up and give you a heads up, right? So we're seeing a lot of this one, how it's evolved to more of this fake paperwork. It's becoming more and more common where this fake paperwork is being used. And we have a couple reports that I think are worth mentioning here where they shared, the victims shared their experience, right? We have two. And the first one here says, a man reportedly from a sheriff's department in a city I used to live in said that there was a warrant for my arrest. It was due to not reporting for jury duty, right? There you go. That's how the scam works. A lot of times they say it's because of jury duty and you're thinking, wow, maybe I just didn't get the letter or whatever. I better pay. No, don't fall for it. And here, I thought this was interesting. Speaking of the request for secrecy, the request for confidentiality, in this case of this arrest warrant scam, the scammer told the victim they were not to discuss this with anyone because children were involved, right? I mean, it makes no sense why they even tell you if you didn't show up, but it's a clever way that they'd get the victim to stay quiet and not tell anybody. They say children were involved in the case, so you can't go telling anybody about it, right? And then they said, I was told to go to Walmart and put money on one account. They would provide me with a barcode when I got there. So there's that mention of the Walmart One accounts that we're starting to hear about more often, about these scammers telling you to go to Walmart and put money or set up a one account, right? So classic example of an arrest warrant scam. And this report's from earlier in the year in January. It's still the same now. And the second report about this arrest warrant scam says, received a phone call saying they were from the county sheriff and that I had 2 charges against me that I had to pay a fee. Was made to stay on the line and was directed to deposit money through a cryptocurrency machine, right? I thought this was a great example of how they keep the victim on the phone because they don't want the victim to go calling anybody and consulting with anybody. So they actually keep the victim on the phone while they direct them to deposit money at a cryptocurrency machine to pay the fines so they don't get arrested, right? And by the way, they also said they tried to accuse me of disconnecting and charge me even more money. The whole time they were threatening to have me arrested if I didn't comply. So I thought those were 2 interesting scam reports out of many, many scam reports about this type of scam. So watch out for these arrest warrant scams. You can't trust a caller ID, right? Even if they offer to send you paperwork, you can't trust it, right? You got to hang up, just like all the other scams. You can't take anything at face value anymore from an unsolicited call. You have to hang up, verify through official channels, all right? We made this cool little infographic about that one. How to spot an arrest warrant scam, the anatomy of the scam, scammers impersonate law enforcement, demand immediate payment, use deceptive tactics, fake caller ID, fake paperwork, right? Never trust a caller ID. And law enforcement never asks for payment over the phone. Right? And then, of course, the golden rule, hang up and verify, right? So watch out for these arrest warrant scams. They've only gotten more common over the months and years. Don't be pressured and to use fear and urgency to get you to pay. Next scam we're going to talk about here, bank impersonation scams. I'm sure we get these all day long, whether it's an email claiming to be a bank, a text message claiming to be a bank, a phone call claiming to be a bank, right? So many variations of these bank impersonation scams where they target you from all directions, right? So it's super important to be aware of these scams. And there's another one of those scams where we know the caller ID is showing the bank's name, even though it's a scammer. And a lot of times, this type of scam, the scammer knows what bank you use, right? They breached your info. They got it from somewhere else. You used your bank account for something, and they know what bank you used. So a lot of times they know what bank to show on the caller ID, right? So it can be very convincing. You get this call, caller ID says it's your bank, right? And then they call up and they say, hey, there's suspicious activity, right? Some common scam narratives. They'll say there's suspicious activity. They're investigating fraud. Another common one, they'll say you have to secure your account by transferring money. We'll talk about that in a minute, right? And another narrative they use is they say, we detected illegal activity and we're going to hold you responsible, right? Sometimes they'll say that drugs were purchased or guns were purchased with your bank account, right? And they say they're going to hold you responsible for it, and they pull you into this whole identity theft narrative. And we have an example of one of these text message scams that impersonate the bank here. All right, so you can see this one. It's a text message. It says, verified TD Bank card activity. Did you attempt a transaction for $250 at Walgreens? Reply yes if recognized or no if not. Right? And the idea is, since it's a scammer, right, they're trying to get you to reply back no, because you didn't use, your card at Walgreens for $250. Once you reply back, they're going to try to get you on the phone. They're going to tell you your identity's been stolen. They're going to tell you your money's not safe. They're going to try to get you to transfer the money or withdraw the money, deposit a Bitcoin machine, right? But it all gets started with a simple text message. Now, there's actually a little bit of a backstory to this fake text message that's impersonating the bank. The person that sent this example over to me, they actually got a phone call right before receiving this text message. They got a phone call, and on the caller ID, it said TD Bank. They didn't answer the phone, right? But immediately after, it gets followed up with a text message saying verified TD Bank card activity, right? So these scammers, they're persistent, right? And you can't be fooled by the persistence. They'll try to call you, then they'll send you a text message. Don't think like, wow, that's pretty persistent. Must be my bank, right? It's a scam. Again, these types of scams being targeted with phone calls, text messages, emails. But the good news about this type of scam is actually one of the easiest ones to debunk, right? Whether it's an email, a text message, a phone call, right? What you do, don't engage, don't click on any links, don't call back any numbers, don't reply to the text. What you do, call the number on the back of your bank card. That's it. Call the number on the back of your bank card and say, hey, I got this email. I got this phone call. I got this text message. And the bank will tell you, if 9% of the time, it can tell you it was a scam, but they'll tell you if it was legit or not, right? That's all you have to do. You get any type of communication involving your bank, call the number on the back of your bank card. All right, that's the number one way to debunk this. The quickest way to debunk any type of scam. Just call the number on the back of your bank card. Okay. Again, if you get a call and it shows that bank's number, that doesn't mean you could trust it. You still have to hang up and then call a number on the back of your bank card. And we have a victim story here that I'm just going to share with you real quick. And this was in the news. It says, I feel so stupid. This young Connecticut woman had her bank account drained by scammers after answering a trusted Wells Fargo number. Right? It said her trouble began when she saw a familiar phone number on her caller ID. She said, I got a call from a Wells Fargo number saying I had fraudulent activity on my account and that a random person was being sent money from Zelle. Couple red flags already, right? Zelle is always a red flag. The bank's, and then they told her that she needed to secure her account by sending money with Zelle that would go into her account right after. Right? So there's that big red flag. A bank's never going to ask you to send money with Zelle, right? It's going to be a scammer. And scammers love using Zelle because it's a nightmare dealing with Zelle. It's very hard to get your money back when you send money through Zelle to a scammer. So watch out for these bank impersonation scams. We're being attacked from all directions, emails, phone calls, text messages, right? But again, it's the easiest scam to debunk. Call the number on the back of your bank card. That's what you do. You got this cool little infographic we made about this one too. Anatomy of a bank impersonation scam. Right? Fake text alert, panic phone call. The scammers, they'll give you a cover story, right? And they'll sometimes, if they're instructing a victim to take money out of the bank, they'll actually tell the victim to lie to the bank tellers. This goes back to when we were talking about the red flag, where they they make up that fake story because they don't want you telling the teller what's actually happening, because the teller will tell you it's a scam, right? So instead they tell you if the bank teller asks what the money's for, to say it's for home improvements or to pay contractors, right? It's a huge red flag if they're telling you to lie to the bank teller. So be aware of that. Recognize the red flags. Hang up, right? Don't engage. Don't talk to them. Don't send text messages. Don't click links. Call your bank. Call the number on the back of your bank card, right? So bank scams, be aware of them. Don't fall for them. Wrong number scams. So these wrong number scams, if you ever wondered why you get so many text messages from wrong numbers, it's because it's a scam, right? And believe it or not, something as simple as one of these wrong number scams actually leads to some of the most damaging scams out there. So how these work is the scammers, they reach new victims by sending text messages to random phone numbers. Okay. When someone replies to say wrong number or who is this, right? The scammer attempts to continue the conversation and build a trust with the victim, right? They say, oh, you seem friendly. Let's keep talking. Let's be friends, right? They gain the victim's trust after a week or two. And then this usually evolves into a romance or a pig butchering scam, right? We talked about those a little earlier. And we have a few examples of these wrong number scams we'll share with you right now. And by the way, we did a video about these wrong number scams. It's over on our YouTube channel. It actually went viral. It's one of our only videos that went viral. You know, usually we're lucky to get a couple thousand views, right? This video got over 103,000 views right over here on our YouTube channel, which was amazing. It would be awesome if more of our videos went viral like that. But you can see most of our videos were lucky to get a couple thousand here, right? The fake CAPTCHA video about the fake CAPTCHA scams, right? It got 3.6 views, but the wrong number scam video, 103,000 views. So that's pretty cool. So check that one out. Let's see if we get it up to 200,000. That'd be pretty awesome. But the thing about these wrong number scams, here's some examples and why they're so dangerous. They could start with any random text message. The text message could literally say anything, right? Like in these examples right here. Hey, Anna, I'm Josie. Excuse me, is this Emma? Have a cup of coffee together sometime, right? Because the whole goal is they're trying to get you to reply back and say, who is this? Or you have the wrong number, right? Because first of all, just replying back, right? Like we mentioned earlier, just replying back lets them know your number's active and they're going to target you even more, right? So look, even when I get a text message that it could be a legit wrong number, I don't reply back because I know 99% of the times it's going to be a scam or it's not worth it. Just add you to more lists, right? But these wrong number scams, they can even just start with a random message that says hi from somebody that's not in your contacts. If they're not in your contacts, we recommend, or at Scamware 101, not even replying, right? Which is rough, right? A lot of us, we want to be kind. We want to let somebody know they got a wrong number. It's not worth it anymore. It's going to be a scam most of the time, right? And we have an example here of how this conversation might go. Because once it's established that it's a wrong number, they're going to try to gain your trust and befriend you, right? And here's how that conversation might go here. This is a real example, right? This one started out with just a random message that said hi, okay? We reply back, hi, who's this? It continues, hi, Karina. Are you David? We met last week at Linda's party. You picked this number for me, right? We reply back, sorry, you have the wrong number, okay? At this point, conversation would end. If it was a real wrong number, it's been established, no reason to keep on texting. It's a scam. They keep on going. Oh my gosh, I checked and found out I entered the wrong area code. I hope this doesn't bother you. We reply back, that's okay, no problem. Again, conversation should end at this point. It's been established, it's a wrong number, no reason to keep going, but it's a scammer, so they're going to keep going. What they're going to do is they're going to try to get information about you now. Right. Thank you very much. You are a very friendly and polite person. I hope we could be friends. Nice to meet you. My name is Karina. What can I call you? Right. So now they're trying to get your name. We replied back, Pat. Right. And he goes, you have a beautiful name. I'm from Malaysia, currently living in Los Angeles. Where do you live? Right. So now they're trying to get where you live. Right. So this is what's going to happen. They're going to start trying to gather information about you. And it's going to be to determine what scam to target you with. Right. So our recommendation for these wrong number scams, never reply. Don't even engage. Right? If they try to get you to go over on WhatsApp and Telegram, definitely don't do it, right? Don't download anything that they try to get you to download. You know, most of the time, these scams, they evolve into an investment, a pig butchering scam. They evolve into romance scams. And look, these are one of those long-term deception scams where they will spend a week or two trying to be your friend, right? You start going back and forth with them. They'll start messaging you every day. Hey, how was your day? Sending you pictures, stuff like that. They're going to try to gain your trust after a week or two. But then it evolves into a pig butchering and romance scam. Right? I'm telling you, these scams are ruthless. These text messages, something as innocent seeming as a wrong number text, it leads to people's entire savings and retirement fund, their banks getting cleared out. Right? It's a nightmare. So it takes advantage of lonely people. You know, it evolves into a romance scam sometimes. In fact, I got one more example of these I'm going to share with you right now. One sec. Here's one more example of a wrong number text message scam that I like to share. It should be on the screen. Right. So in this example, they include a picture. And we see this a lot now. Right. They send you this text message. Hi, Byron, I'm Jane. And then they include a picture. Right. We know what they're trying to do. Right. They're trying to give you a little incentive to reply back for the lonely folks out there. Some single guy or single girl is like, hey, it's my lucky day. Right. It's not. It's a scam. Right. And you can see we don't reply. Right. The message comes in at 1:58 p.m. We don't reply. Right. 4 hours later on the dot, 5:58 p.m., there's a follow-up message. Have you gotten the pictures I sent? Okay. Now, I point this example out for a few reasons. Right. One, there's a picture included. Right. Here's the thing. That picture probably isn't even a real person, right? Maybe it's a stolen picture, but it's actually probably just AI generated, right? It's another example of how scammers, they use AI, they generate a picture of an attractive woman or attractive guy, and they send out these messages to hundreds and thousands of numbers, thinking, you know, that it's a numbers game. Someone's going to reply, okay? The second thing to note is the follow-up message, 4 hours on the dot in between, right? Message comes in at 1:58, follow-up comes in at 5:58, 4 hours exactly. Why do I point this out? Because it's a bot, right? These initial messages, it's not a real person sitting here sending these messages at first. It's a bot, right? And the bot is programmed to send the same message to hundreds of thousands of people. And then anybody who doesn't reply is programmed 4 hours on the dot. If no reply, send follow-up message. And that's what happened in this situation. They sent the follow-up message 4 hours later, right? So it's important to note that, you know, a lot of times these initial conversations, the initial questions that we just discussed, it's a bot. It's gathering information. It's not a real person. Eventually, it'll hand you off. If it goes long enough, it'll hand you off to a real scammer. But there's just AI and bots gathering your information at first. All right, so don't fall for these wrong number scams. It can be very convincing. You know, for all single folks out there, I'm sorry, it's not your lucky day if you get a message like that. And in fact, on the video, you know, the wrong number video we released, it got 103,000 views, got lots of comments, and many people were commenting saying they received the exact same message, exact same picture, right? So it's one of those spray and pray scams, right? They just target hundreds and thousands of phone numbers, and they know it's a number scam. A certain amount of people are going to reply. So watch out for these wrong number scams. Don't fall for them. Check out the video. Share it with a friend. This next scam we're going to talk about, I was actually surprised when I realized how common this next scam is. It's a faith-based group leader impersonation scam. So it's faith leader impersonation scams. This is when scammers pose as trusted religious leaders, priests, rabbis, pastors to deceive members of their congregation or community, right? And what happens is they reach out with urgent requests for money or gift cards. And it's wild because what these scammers do is they'll either create a fake email address that uses the name of your priest, rabbi, pastor, right? And then they target everybody using that fake email address with some kind of request for gift cards. Okay. You know, offering to reimburse, you know, the victim, of course, but they ask for a request for gift cards, right? Other times they'll actually hack into or gain access to the actual email address of the priest, pastor, rabbi, right? So you'll get this request from the actual email address, you know, of the faith leader. And I was very surprised when, you know, I always check the ARP scam tracker map to look at reports and see what people are saying. I was really surprised to see how many reports there were of this type of scam. And I'll tell you one thing, these scammers don't discriminate. They don't care what faith you are, what religion you are. They're going to target you and try to take your money. And we have a couple reports here that I just want to share with you. These are all from earlier in the year, right? And the first one says, contacted by our pastor. He needed help getting some Apple gift cards for cancer patients in the hospital, right? How low is that? Not only is it taking advantage of someone's faith by impersonating their pastor, but it's also using cancer patients as as a sympathy pull to get you to purchase these gift cards, right? And of course, they offer to reimburse you and stuff like that, but they're trying to get you to go out there and purchase gift cards and send them over to the pastor for cancer patients. How terrible is that? How heinous is that, right? It's pretty low. This other report says the person impersonates a pastor from our church in South San Francisco, asked to send money for Brazil because he has a personal emergency, right? So in that case, the scammer's impersonating their pastor, claiming to have an emergency in Brazil, and ask him to send gift cards. Okay. This next report, it says, I received an email that appeared to be from my priest. He asked me to buy 10 Amazon gift cards immediately. He needed to send them out. All right. So 10 Amazon gift cards, probably $500 each, right? That's a $5,000 scam right there. And what's kind of clever about this scam is, you know, if in the email they're going to say they're going to reimburse you. If you can't trust your priest, pastor, rabbi to reimburse you, who can you trust, right? So you kind of, the victim has their guard down, right? They figure, yeah, of course I could do this for my priest or whatever, right? But that's a $5,000 scam right there. And then this last report here, it says someone saying they were my rabbi, right? So we had pastors, we had priests, now we have rabbi. Right? Someone saying they were my rabbi, asking me to get 5 Target cards, $500 each for sick people. So same type of scam, ask them to pick up cards for sick people, right? That's 5 Target gift cards, $500 each, $2,500 scam right there, right? So lots of reports about this. Well, there were more reports than this. I just grabbed a few of these because they were good examples. But it's wild. The scammers, they're impersonating priests, rabbis, pastors. So look, whatever, if you're a religious person and you're a member of some kind of congregation, you know, regardless of which one it is, warn your people, right? Warn your people about this scam. Make sure that the faith leader, you know, at your church or synagogue, whatever the case, you know, have your faith leaders warn the congregation about this type of scam. Because it's important that people be aware of this one. A couple notes about this scam and similar scams, because we actually see the same type of tactic and a scam, same type of scam used. They'll impersonate your friends, your family. They create fake email addresses, or they hack into your friends or family members' accounts. So many times people have gotten into my friends' Facebook accounts and I'll get a random message saying, hey, I'm stranded. Can you send me $500? It's not really my friend. Somebody hacked in their account. Somebody got into their account, right? So we've seen this type of scam. Other tactics that use this type of scam. It's just now they're impersonating rabbis, priests, and pastors too. All right, so it's important to be aware of this one. If you get some kind of request like this, first of all, inspect the email address carefully. Like you might be able to tell right off the bat it came from a fake email address. So that's the first thing you do is check the email address. You know, a lot of times it'll be one letter off, and that'll give it away right away. That's a scam. But you still can't trust it even if it comes from the same email address, right? If it comes from the right email address, you still have to verify through a second communication channel. Right? Reach out directly to a person. Get them on the phone. Talk to your priest directly. Talk to your rabbi directly. Talk to your pastor directly. Talk to a friend or family member who's claiming, you know, asking you to get these funds. Talk to them directly on the phone and say, hey, did you actually send this to me? What's going on here? Reach out to the main office if you have to, right? You can't just you can't just take a email or text message at face value anymore. You have to verify through official channels, right? And third of all, it's a gift card request, right? Red flag, red flag, red flag, gift cards. Any mention of gift cards, be extremely suspicious, right? We mentioned them so many times during this live stream because scammers love to request these gift cards. So watch out for this type of scam. Be aware of this one. Warn your faith leaders and the members of their congregations, right? Important to be aware of it. And by the way, real quick, one of the few ways that we do make money over here at Scamware 101, we'll do a group presentation for your synagogue, your church, your HOA, your community center, your COA, right? Your community group. We'll do a remote presentation, you know, discussing all these different scams. We'll have a Q&A with your group. We do charge for that, but if you think it'll be useful, you know, which it really is, you know, reach out to us. You can find our email information over on our website and email us, you know, scamware101.com. Send us an email. We'll get back to you and we can set up a remote presentation for your group, your community group, your senior group, you know, your church, your synagogue, your HOA, your COA, pretty much any group that would be interested. So we'll include a couple of handouts, a couple of ebooks that come with the presentation too. They get distributed with a whole bunch of text message examples. I'll do a Q&A, make sure everybody's questions are answered and clarify things. So one of the few ways that we try to make some money over here. So reach out and we'll be happy to do it. But we got a couple more scams to talk about here. We got 4 more scams that we're going to go over. These are actually some of the most interesting ones, in my opinion. Some examples for you of these too. Super important to be aware of these scams. We got 4 more to go over, and then we're not going to be done yet. Then what we do is on these live streams, we usually spend the last 15 minutes of the live stream. We'll head over to the AARP scam tracking website, and we'll check out some real scam reports that have come in the past couple of days. And we'll see if there's some other ones that are worth mentioning. It's a pretty fun exercise we do at the end of all these live streams. So we're going to do that after we cover these last 4 scams here. And that's actually probably my favorite portion of the live stream, is heading on over there, checking out the recent scam reports. So stick around and don't go anywhere. But we're not there yet. We're still got these 4 scams we're going to talk about and a couple more examples to share here. In this case, we're going to talk about fake order scams or fake purchase scams. And these are really important to be know about because we're being targeted from all directions again, right? We're getting text messages about fake orders. We're getting emails about fake orders. We're getting phone calls about fake orders. I have some examples we're going to share with you too. But the whole idea how these scams work is they try to trick you into calling a number to dispute the fake order, right? So you'll get an email that says an Amazon purchase was placed, and call a number to dispute it. You call that number, you're actually talking to the scammer, right? It's not really Amazon, it's actually a scammer. And we have an example here of a text message, one of these fake order scam text messages. This one impersonates Apple. Apple approval notice. We have noticed that your Apple iCloud ID was recently used at the Apple Store for $143. Apple prepay pre-authorization. Apple Pay pre-authorization. Right. And that says, if not you, talk to an Apple representative. Call this number immediately to cancel the charge. Right. So you get this text message. You're saying, I didn't spend $143. I better call this number and talk to Apple. That's not really Apple. You're going to call the number. It's going to be scammers. Right? And then they're going to go in that whole narrative. Somebody stolen your identity. Your money's not safe. Transfer it here to secure it. Right. But that's how these fake order notifications work. They make you think that an order has been placed under one of your accounts, and they try to trick you into calling a scammer instead of the company to dispute it. Right. So that's a text message example of one of these scams. But we also have a victim story we're going to share here. This is an email version of this scam, these fake order scams. It was a 23-year-old Lincoln woman, Lincoln, Nebraska, recently reported losing $4,100, so $4,000, after falling victim to an identity fraud scam in July. The scam began with an email claiming she had purchased an iPhone. Right. And it says the woman called the number provided in the email to dispute the purchase. So I'm going to stop there real quick. That's how the fake order scam works. She got an email. It says an iPhone was purchased, right? And iPhones are expensive, right? So she probably got this email that said $1,000 iPhone or something. Not you, call this number. And she fell for it. She called the number, right? Instead of calling Apple directly, right? She was tricked into calling this fake customer service number. So that's how the fake order scam works. Now, what's fascinating about this article is it tells us a little bit what happens next, right? So she calls up this fake number. She thinks she's talking to Apple. She's actually talking to scammers. And what happens is the scammers tell her that her identity has been stolen. She's had multiple open accounts across multiple states, and somebody's using her identity. They then transfer her to a person posing as a CIA agent, right? And we see this a lot with these scammers. They transfer you to other scammers, or they just impersonate themselves. Now they're a CIA agent. Now they're your bank account. Now they work for your bank, right? So she's talking to a scammer impersonating a CIA agent, and they instruct her to withdraw $3,600 from her bank account, and then directed her to purchase Walmart gift cards. Additionally, next day, she got told to get another $500 card. So $4,100 that she lost to these fake order scammers. And notice the gift cards, right? Red flags. There's a request for gift cards. By the way, notice her age. A 23-year-old Lincoln woman, right? I mentioned it earlier a couple of times. It's not just the older folks that fall for these scams. Younger people actually fall for them more. It's just the older folks lose their entire life savings. It's more devastating to the older folks out there, but the younger folks fall just as many scams. You know, a lot of these younger people, they think that they're too smart, and that's what the scammers count on, right? So that's a text message example of the fake order scam. That's a victim story of the email version of a fake order scam. But what about phone call versions, right? So I actually have 2 examples of phone calls I'm going to play for you. Well, voicemails that I'm going to play for you right now of these fake order scams. Because I mentioned this type of scam targeted from all directions: text messages, emails, phone calls, right? So the first phone call I'm going to play for you is a voicemail. It impersonates Amazon, and it claims a MacBook Pro was purchased on your account for $1,499, right? Look, you get a message like that and think, oh my God, $1,500. I better call back this number or press 1 and talk to the rep. That's how they get you. They create that fake sense of urgency, and they get you to talk to a scammer. You think you're talking to Amazon, it's actually a scammer. All right, so let's listen to this voicemail real quick. And let me know in the chat if you received this voicemail. I included this voicemail in our video about fake order scams. I got lots of feedback. People received the exact same voicemail.
This call is to authorize the payment of $1,499 for the recent order of Apple MacBook Pro on your Amazon account. If you do not authorize this payment, please press 1 to speak to our customer support representative.
Don't do it. Don't call back the number. Don't press 1. You get connected to this scammer and they're going to try to steal your money. Second example here. This one impersonates Walmart and they claim a PlayStation was purchased on your account for $159. Take a listen to this example here.
We are trying to contact you concerning an unverified purchase of PlayStation 5 Special Edition bundled with Pulse 3D headset being ordered from your Walmart account for an amount of $859.50. If you did not authorize this transaction or wish to cancel, please press 1 or return our call on same number at your earliest convenience.
All right, so that's another example of fake order scam. Impersonates Walmart, tries to get you to press 1 or call back a number and dispute it. It's a scam. Don't do it. So that's why these fake order scams are so dangerous. They can impersonate any vendor. They can claim anything was purchased. And then they try to trick you into calling back their fake number where they impersonate customer service. Look, you get a message like this, an email, a text, check your account directly. Don't reply. Don't click links. Don't call back numbers or press 1. Check your account directly or call back through official channels. Don't go calling the numbers they tell you to. Right? That's how these fake order scams work. They trick you into engaging with a scammer. So don't fall for it. Let me know in the chat if you've got any phone calls like that. Let me know if you're still here, by the way. Give me some reactions. Next scam we're going to talk about, grandparent scams. This is when scammers impersonate a distressed relative claiming they have been arrested and needing financial help. Victims, usually seniors, they act quickly to assist their loved ones. The scammers, they often impersonate law enforcement, court personnel, and lawyers to extract even more money from the victim. Right? It's called a grandparent scam for a reason. They're targeting the older folks out there. They're targeting grandparents and parents, and they're using the kids and the grandkids as bait. Right? They make them think that their kids are in trouble, their grandkids are in trouble, and they take advantage of that. And we actually have a fascinating video. I shared this short clip on every live stream of a grandparent scammer in the Dominican Republic. This is an actual grandparent scammer. And a little background before I play this for you. There's a YouTuber. He goes by the name Scam Sandwich. Go check out his channel. He's got the full video over there. Lots of good stuff. But the short clip, what happened is Scam Sandwich actually hacked into the scammer's webcam or into the scammer's computer and watched him on his webcam, recorded him. So now we actually have this video of a grandparent scammer performing a grandparent scam. And it's fascinating because, a lot of people, they say, I would know if it was my grandkid talking to me or not. Let's take a look at this video and maybe not so much. All right. By the way, let me know in the chat if you think this person was going to fall for the scam. I think that she sounded like she was going to fall for it. But other people say that I don't think she was. But whatever the case, it's still a fascinating video showing how these grandparent scams work, how they impersonate the loved one, how they impersonate a police officer. Let's take a look here.
Oh, Mom, I had a car accident.
Huh?
I had a car accident, Mom.
Is this Linda?
It's me, Linda.
Where are you?
I got a car accident.
What happened?
I'm gonna put the officer on. I got arrested.
You got arrested?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi, are you Linda's mom?
Yes.
What I'm gonna need you to do is grab a pen and paper and write down Linda's case number, ma'am. I need you to hurry up, please, ma'am.
Case number?
It's the number 2.
2?
The letter B as in boy. Can you read that back to me?
2, B.
Now, I'm gonna read what's going on, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
Linda was involved in a car accident. It was stated in the police report She admitted that was her fault. While she was driving, she was using her phone. That's what caused the accident, ma'am, okay?
Oh, man.
The woman that was driving the other vehicle was 7 months pregnant. We had to rush her into the nearby hospital. She might lose her baby.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, we actually confiscating her cell phone for legal evidence, so she cannot receive or cannot make calls. This is going to be her only last call. Are you with me, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Now, she actually wrote a note down here saying that she didn't want anyone to know about this. Let's honor her wish for right now because it's too much for her right now. That's what she's saying. What I'm going to need you to do, ma'am, is stay by the phone and wait for the lawyer to call, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye, ma'am.
All right, bye.
The next. So there you have it. That's an actual grandparent scammer from the Dominican Republic. You know, and luckily that YouTuber Scam Sandwich, who was able to record that, and now we have a short clip that we could reference to see how these grandparent scams actually work. And it's pretty heinous scam, right? They target your loved ones. They make you think their loved ones are in trouble. And then, and the thing is too, is once they get money from them one way, then they impersonate lawyers and try to get more money. Then they impersonate the court and try to get more money. Then they impersonate another. They just keep on making different agencies to impersonate until they take everything that the grandparent or parent has, right? These scammers are ruthless. You know, that's why it's so important to be aware of these scams. That's why we do what we do here to spread awareness, is because we're not talking about scammers that just want to take $100, even $1,000. They want to take everything you have. They want to take your retirement fund, your life savings, right? It's a big threat. It's a big problem, and it's only getting worse. More and more money is being lost every year to these scammers, and it's not right, you know. So be aware of these grandparent scams. We got two more scams we're going to talk about. Then we're going to check out the ARP scam tracking map. So, outstanding traffic ticket. Actually, this is kind of like one more scam. The 2-in-1 here. These outstanding traffic ticket scams. There's so many different variations of this. It kind of evolved from the unpaid road toll scam, right? And they've gotten more complex. So these outstanding traffic tickets, basically you get emails and text messages, and they impersonate law enforcement or government agencies. They claim you owe unpaid traffic fines. They pressure victims, threats of arrest, license suspension, and court action unless immediate payment is made. Right? And we have a few of these text messages to show you here. As a good example of how once a scam is in one state, it's in all the states, right? So in this first example, this is Nebraska Department of Vehicles. Enforcement penalties begin on July 21st. Our records show that as of today, you still have an outstanding traffic ticket in accordance with Nebraska State Administrative Code 15C-16, blah, blah, blah. If you do not complete payment by July 20th, we will take the following actions. And here's how they create the fear and they create the false urgency. They threaten to report to the DMV violation database, suspend your vehicle registration, suspend driving privileges, transfer to a toll booth and charge a 35% service fee. You may be prosecuted or your credit score will be affected. Pay now. And it's got the fake link, right? The fake link's going to steal whatever payment details you provide. Right next to it is our second example. It's identical to the first, except it says Illinois. It says Illinois has a different link. But I thought that was a good example of how once these texts and these scams are going out in one state, they're pretty much in every state at this point, right? And a third example here is a different variation. It says, final notice, unpaid traffic violation, payment required by January 19th. There's a final notice of an unpaid traffic violation under New Jersey law. Failure to pay by the deadline will trigger enforcement actions. And then they go into their threats. If payment is not made by the due date, the following consequences will apply. Right? Report you to New Jersey Motor Vehicles, registration automatically suspended, driver license suspended, referral of outstanding debt to collections agency, potential legal proceedings, adverse credit reporting, right? All scary stuff that's not actually going to happen because it's a scam, but they're trying to get you to freak out, to react, to click the link, you know, and not think straight. Right? And that's how these scams work. And the other example of this one, this is the most recent version, started circulating a couple months ago. Let me know in the chat if you've seen this one. But this is the same idea, except you get an email or a text message that has an attachment, right? We talked about these attachments earlier. You never want to open attachments that you weren't expecting, right? Or from someone you don't know, because Scamware 101 does it for you. And we have a couple examples to show you. And it's a great example of how Once it's in one state, it's in all states, right? Here's an example from New Jersey, example from Massachusetts, example from Florida. Very, very official looking notices. They have the state seal at the top. They even have a date for the court date, right? Notice of traffic violation, a judge name, Judge John Smith. You know, he's in New Jersey and Massachusetts. Judge John Smith is pretty busy over here, right? But look, they have a court date that's supposedly going to happen, and it has a QR code to scan to settle your unpaid balance, right? So it's an example of how these scammers, they use QR codes to take you to these fake websites to steal your payment information. But this one just started circulating recently, the past couple months. And something that I think is interesting about these too is, you notice the state logos here at the top? They look very official, except if you zoom in, you actually notice the letters, they're gibberish. It's not real words, right? It's not the real state seal because it was generated by AI. So this is another good example of how these scammers, they've embraced AI to create these realistic looking scams, right? So if you get an email or a text message containing this notice, it's a scam. Looks very official, very believable. Don't believe it. It's a scam. Don't scan that QR code, right? If you're concerned it's real, look up the real contact information of that court and call them directly, right? Don't trust any phone numbers or emails or addresses or links on these notices. You know, look up the official contact info on the official, .gov website and contact them directly to confirm if these are real or not, right? But look, if you're getting text messages and emails with these attachments, it's not real, they're scams. So watch out for these. It's just another twist on these fake traffic violation scams that have been circulating for years at this point. But these are the most official looking ones. Very convincing if you receive these, but they're just going to steal your payment details. So watch out for this, this scam if you get it, and warn your friends and family, your loved ones. And now, so that concludes all the scam examples, but we're not done yet, right? Got 15 more minutes left here in the live stream. It's actually my favorite part of the live stream. We're going to go check out the ARP scam tracking map. All right, and we're going to go see some real scam reports coming in the past couple days, and see if there's any others that we should mention before wrapping up and talk about, right? So check it out. If you're just joining us, by the way, make sure to join our free mailing list, scamaware101.com. Click join mailing list. We'll send you reminders when we're going live. We'll send you some scam awareness tips. If you appreciate what we're doing here, we do have a merch store available. If you want to help support the mission, we have it on our YouTube store. All right, so check it out. You get some coffee mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, stickers. Help support the mission over here. We have them in our YouTube store, and also a link here at the bottom of our website. It says gift shop. A little small. I don't know if you can see it. You can also donate directly. We're happy to take donations. Anything helps. I pay out of pocket for this. I'm doing this for 2 years, my own money. So appreciate any donations. Anything helps. Scamaware101.com/donate. We also have YouTube memberships enabled. If you want to sign up for a monthly membership, shout out to Dave, one of our members. Appreciate you. And we also have super chats enabled. You want to toss us a couple bucks? We appreciate that. Dave sent a couple bucks earlier. Again, appreciate Dave, man. You're really there for us. You're keeping us up and running over here. But yeah, make sure to join the free mailing list on our website, scamaware101.com. And we have a tool. Oh, actually, let me show you guys something real quick. I'm actually excited to show you this. We updated our scam directory the other day, a week or two ago. And now we have 30 different scams listed here on our scam directory. Mostly it's just text, but we're going to be adding, soon we'll be adding the slides from this presentation. We'll start adding them under each scam. We have plans for this too. So definitely check back. We've got 30 different scams listed here. If you click on them, it gives you a lot of details about the scam, what it is, how they target new victims. All right, if we have a video about the scam, we have the video plugged in right here. Like here's our arrest warrant video from YouTube, about these arrest warrant scams. Right, common narratives, fake storylines, information that scammers ask for, warning signs, red flags. Right, every page we have, all these sections we have on each page for these different scams now. Bank impersonation scams. All right, there's that. Brushing scams. This one's starting to get some attention right now again. It always pops up during the holidays, these brushing scams. But because of the Amazon Day sales going on, this one's been getting a lot of attention this week too. But see, it gives you all the same information. So we're building this out. We got 30 scams. I want to get it up to at least about 50 within the next couple weeks. Let's see, where is the fake toll one? Unpaid roll toll, I think. Let's see. On an unpaid roll toll page, we have all the examples, all these text message examples of unpaid roll tolls. Text messages here and transcribed, right? So we're getting the scam directory built out. We really want to make it an excellent source to find all these examples about scams. So if somebody's being targeted with one of these scams, really the goal is, your friend says something like, oh, I got this text message about unpaid roll toll. And they're not believing that it's a scam. Like, unfortunately, a lot of these victims, you tell them it's a scam, they don't believe it until it's too late. But this kind of gives a resource now where you could be like, no, look at the Scamware 101, click on unpaid road tolls, and look at all these examples. Does it look like this the text message you got? Right? So that's our goal. We want to get the scam directory, one of our goals. We want to get the scam directory built out with all these examples and information. And like I said, we just got it updated last week or two with 30 scams. So we're getting there. So that's one of the things that we have on our site now and that we're going to be getting built out. All right. And then the other thing, related to the ARP scam tracker map, we do have a tools and software page. And this is all links to third party. It's not any of our software that we built, but it's all reliable like services and third party software that is useful. Some of these are referral links too. So like if you need a VPN, use our link for NordVPN. You can save some money and we get a cut. So a couple of these are referral links. A lot of these aren't. They're just useful links too. But data breach lookup tools, very useful, right? Have I been pwned? Personal data leak checker, malware bytes, digital footprint. These are all valid links. You click on them, you enter your email address or your phone number, right? And what it does, and again, these are legit services, not gonna steal your info. They might try to upsell you to like identity monitoring after the fact, but what they do is the report is free. It'll tell you if your email address and password, it'll tell you the data breaches that you've been involved in, right? So look, you might be shocked. You run your email address or phone number through this. You might actually be surprised because the report comes back and it has like your actual logins. It'll actually say like your passwords that have been exposed. So those are some useful links. It's good to check out because this is how scammers get your information. It gives you an idea of what's out there, right? What passwords and how do they already know log into your bank account because they already know your password, right? So anyway, there are some useful tools. But on the tools and software section of our site, the last link, we have a link to the ARP scam tracking map. And that's what we're going to spend the last 15 minutes or so here of the live stream on. An ARP scam tracking map. It's a really cool resource, a free resource that AARP offers. And you could narrow it down by zip code, city or state. I'm just leaving it nationwide right now. And it shows you all the reports that are coming in throughout the country here. So these reports, the 24th. So all these reports came in yesterday, right? So these are real reports, active reports. They're not old. It's what's going on right now, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at the first few pages of reports here and see what kind of scams are being reported by people. A lot of times we see the same scams that we covered during this live stream, but there's also scams too that we didn't report on that are worth mentioning. So let's see what some common reports that are coming in right now from the ARP. Yeah, John sent 6-7 jewels. 6-7, hey, appreciate you, John. Thank you for sending the jewels. So identity theft. They called and said they were from Visa. They said I had a charge from Florida. They asked if I was traveling. Let's see what this says. They asked if I was traveling. I said no. They then asked for my social security number. I declined to give it. Then they hung up. Right. So very common type of phishing call. They called up. In this case, they claimed to be from Visa. Maybe it'll say MasterCard too. But, it's the same thing as like a bank impersonation. They call up. They say there's some kind of suspicious charge. Have you been traveling to Florida? Which, by the way, these scammers, they know people go on vacation to Florida a lot, right? So it seems to be one of their states where it's numbers game. They know a certain amount of people have been to Florida, right? Or vacation to Florida. And they're trying to trick them. And that's the type of detail that people fall for, right? They think, oh, well, wow, I really was in Florida, so this must be legit. It's a numbers game. They're calling 100,000 other phone numbers. They're saying the same thing. They know a certain amount of people are going to say, oh, wow, I was in Florida, right? So don't fall for it, right? There's another one of those cases where somebody calls you up, claiming to be from Visa or MasterCard. Hang up, right? Call back your Visa card directly, whatever Visa you have, right? If you want to confirm it's real. But this could be a scam, okay? Home-related scam. Oh, let's see here. I'm not sure if I think it was Here Comes the Soul, right? Earlier that was asking about these. Let's see. Received a mail from someone with a final attempt regarding my house and lender. Nah, it's not the same one. Also allocated with, nah. So they don't give many details about the scam. Hey, it's hit or miss with some of these reports. Sometimes they give details. They're useful at times. You can't really tell, but it's all good. Let's see what a couple more of these say. Gift card scams, right? We got that red flag. Called and said they were from PayPal. Super common, these PayPal scams. Was an email that claims that a purchase was made through PayPal. In this case, they're calling and saying they're calling from PayPal, right? And it's a fake order. It's a fake order scam, right? So in this case, called and said they were from PayPal. Said someone had charged $1,100 on my credit card for an iPhone. Very common, right? And the example we gave of one of the fake order scams was that the victim fell for an email, said she purchased an iPhone, right? In this case, they're calling and then claiming she purchased an iPhone, said I needed to replace money and World Bank had paid, sent me to Center to Target and Walmart to purchase the gift cards, right? Always a red flag. I used my debit card and credit card. They asked me to scratch off the bank cards, take a picture, the back of the cards, take a picture, and then they cashed it out. That's how these gift card scams work. They trick the victims in purchasing gift cards because they take pictures of them, send it to the scammer, and that's it. They immediately cash out the cards, right? And you're not going to get that money back. You're left holding the physical cards. They don't mean anything. So that's why scammers love gift cards. And this is a perfect example of these fake order scams. This one, they got targeted over the phone, impersonated PayPal. Very common impersonation. You know, anything involving PayPal, be suspicious. And she fell for it. So, fake order scam. That's why we cover them. That's why I talk about those fake order scams. Let's see. Health-related scam. Monica called and claimed she could save on Medicare. Medicare scam. So we talked about that. It doesn't look like this one gives many more details, but look, it's a classic Medicare scam, right? They call up, they ask for personal information, they claim there's changes to your benefits or that they're going to issue a new Medicare card, but they're really trying to get your information so they could file false Medicare claims. All right, we covered that one earlier too. Yeah, Salermo Shelley mentions the BBB has a tracker as well. And yep, we actually have a link to that too. Right above the ARP scam tracking map, here's the link to the BBB scam tracker tool if you want to look at it. The reason I don't cover that one on the live stream is because that has a lot of like business scams, like people reporting businesses and stuff like that. I don't really focus as much on it. I focus more on these kind of individual scams where they're impersonating, you know. But yeah, the link's there though too. Yep. Check out the next page here. Lost luggage scam. I'm not familiar with that one, but let's see, you know, let's see what this says. I lost luggage on KLM. Scammer pretended to represent KLM customer service and had me set up an app so he could supposedly send me money for my convenience. I caught him really because Apple Pay and my bank identified it as fraud. Interesting. I'm not sure who KLM is, but it's interesting. So this person apparently lost luggage. And somehow the scammer found out, knew about it, and then they targeted him with this scam, saying they're going to reimburse her. Interesting. First time I'm hearing about that one. They're always thinking of clever ways. So watch out for that. If you lose any luggage, somehow scammers could find out and try to trick you. It's interesting. Interesting scam right there. That's why I like this ARP scam tracker. Every now and then you find one where it's like, oh, never heard about that one. That's pretty clever. Inheritance scam. Oh, this is the one we covered earlier. Delivered right in the mail, a letter claiming they're entitled to a $10.9 million inheritance from a relative, a surname. We covered that one earlier. Showed you a real example of that letter too. My example was from 2025, I think, or 2024, but this is why I keep on covering it. It's still circulating. Same exact inheritance scam. So you get a letter in the mail claiming you're entitled to some kind of inheritance. Usually a lot of these, they have like fake Canadian law offices on the letterhead, right? Be aware of it. Don't be suckered into paying fees and taxes on an inheritance that doesn't exist. All right. Let's check out this next one. This person just got notified. Actually, let's see where this goes. Cash App. All right, they gave some details here. Urgent Cash App fraud notice. System detected 3 unapproved recurring charges. All right, so this is what a text message they got. Okay, so this is a text message scam that impersonates Cash App. And it says urgent Cash App fraud notice. System detected 3 unapproved recurring charges totaling $428 pending withdrawal from your wallet. Temporary fund locked, activated to process payment recovery. Contact the verification team. And then there's a fake order or the fake number to call. Right? It says contact the verification team to confirm you did not authorize these orders. Accounts unresponded will complete all pending deductions automatically. Right? So the way this scam works, the text message goes out. It makes it sound like somebody's sending money with your Cash App, and they're trying to trick you into calling this number to stop the charges. You call the number, is actually be scammers. So watch out for these Cash App scams, Zelle scams. Right, those very hard to recover money sent through those apps. Ava's in the chat warning there's also car rental scams going on right now. Runs multi-campaign where they get your credit card and PayPal accounts. Yeah. So watch out for those. Any kind of car rental campaigns. We're claiming that car rentals were made. Debt-related scam. A call saying a recent $2,000 plus charge was made. Fake order scam. Right, you get the phone call, tries to scare you into disputing an order that never happened. Let's check out these last four reports, and then we'll wrap this up. Medicare one. There's another Medicare scam. There's so many Medicare scams right now. Every week, there's more and more. That's why it's one of the first scams we cover in the live stream. An automated phone call came to our business number. The pre-recorded message asked to talk about Medicare coverage. Once I was connected to a manager, I asked if they could confirm my contact information. They immediately hung up. There you go. Watch out for these Medicare scammers. They're calling on the phone, trying to get your medical details so they can file false claims. Oh, here's an interesting one. I needed extra cash and Googled online surveys that pay well. Oh, all right. So these online survey scams. We actually didn't talk about these. Let's see where this goes. I ended up listening to Elon Musk and Craig Ellison sell me on doing research for their AI platform, Apollo Systems. It seemed easy. I'm a senior and figured they need my input. While listening to their tutorial, they offered VIP membership so you could do more than 10 surveys a day. I got sucked in by convincing testimonials and reviews. I didn't know that no one pays to do a survey. I paid about $692. I'm trying to get my money back from PayPal, where I stupidly linked my account. I have since read about what a scam this app is. Well, there we go. So there's a couple things. This is an interesting report because there's a few things to cover, right? First is the celebrity impersonation. We see this all the time, right? So this person saw this fake stuff. It looks like it's Elon Musk and Craig Ellison trying to sell them on doing the research, right? AI is crazy, right? You create these videos now. It looks like Elon. It looks like Craig Ellison. Right? It's not really them. So they promote these fake products and these fake services and people think it's real, right? And in this case, it was promoting these online surveys, right? Thanks to AI. So you always have to be suspicious about these celebrity endorsements online, whether they're real or not. Also, these surveys, it is a common scam, these research surveys where they claim they're going to pay you. I would think there's probably some kind of legit out there, but I mean, you can't just trust it. Just some random ones that you Google and find, right? Because most of them are going to be scams. Like 9% will be scams over there. And then there's PayPal, right? It's trying to get his money through PayPal. You know, it's one of the ways that scammers get your money. It's very hard to recover money once it's sent through PayPal and other services like that. Especially so in PayPal, especially if you send it as a payment to friend, there's like no coverage on it. If you're going to use PayPal for something, at least pick business, because then there's some kind of coverage on it, but if you pick friends and family, it's very hard to get that money back. But that's an interesting report right there. You know, watch out for these fake celebrity endorsements. AI makes it too easy now. You know, there's this one that I would see a lot. I haven't seen it recently on YouTube. I'm sure it's still out there, But there was this one on YouTube where it's a video of Elon, and it's got a QR code on the screen, right? And it's an AI video of Elon talking about how he's giving his money away, and scan this code, and whatever you send him in crypto, he'll send you back twice as much or 3 times as much, right? And the video is just on loop over and over again on YouTube, right? Every day it was on there for I would see it for weeks. I would see this stupid video on YouTube, even though it's fake. I'm sure it was reported 100 times. It didn't get taken down. And it's an AI video. Elon got the QR code, right? So you got the celebrity endorsement aspect. You got the malicious QR codes on the screen, right? And it's telling you anything you deposit, I'll double, I'll triple. It's a scam, right? So watch out for those types of scams too. They impersonate celebrities, and you can't trust them. Let's check out these last 2 scams here. Seller was a content creator. I don't usually cover these, but let's see where it goes. Seller was a content creator, commissioned a custom video for advertisement purposes. They took down payment $15 for commission, as well as a second installment plan for. Okay, so you just got ripped off by a fake content creator, $15. Don't really focus on those, but careful who you're dealing with, though, right? That's the lesson. Trusting people online. He's lucky he only got scammed out of $15. Most people getting scammed out of a lot more than that. And let's check out this last report, and then we'll get this wrapped up here. Email at 1:53 a.m. supposedly from a local internet and phone company telling me my payment didn't go through, and to click here to connect with my account with them, which I didn't do. I called the real business later that morning, totally bogus. My old payment went through next day. All right, well, there you go. It's a pretty straightforward phishing scam, right? Never trust the links in emails. It's a common tactic that these scammers use. You get this random email. It looks like it's from your cable provider or your utility company or any type of service. Netflix, right? You'll get an email that claims to be Netflix. You get an email claiming to be from ChatGPT. All these common services that people pay for. And it says that your subscription didn't renew or there's a problem with your payment. And they try to get you to click a fake link and they steal your payment details, right? Don't fall for it. Very common scam. And they look more and more realistic. So anyway. Well, I think it's time to wrap this up. We went about an hour over, but covered lots of good stuff on the live stream here this evening. If you joined late, you might want to circle back and definitely check out the beginning of the live stream if you haven't seen it. We actually covered a new scam that is really not getting that much attention. It's called a half-off scam or a plug scam. And there's not much attention in the media about this one, but it's a very damaging scam. You could actually end up getting arrested or interrogated by police because of the scammer. So if you missed the beginning of the live stream, definitely circle back, check the first scam that we went over. We spend a little bit of time on it. It's definitely worth knowing about, and I'm sure we're gonna be hearing a lot more about these half-off and plug scams in the future. So shout out to Dave for requesting that one, and yeah, thank you for everybody tuned in this evening. I appreciate you all. We'll be back next Thursday, same time, covering a whole bunch of scams. If you haven't joined the free mailing list yet, take a minute, go to scamaware101.com and click join mailing list. Again, it's free to join. We'll just send you a reminder when we're going live, some useful scam awareness tips. We won't spam you or blast you with junk, I promise. But check out scamaware101.com, join the free mailing list. Follow us on all your favorite social media, YouTube, Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, X, Instagram. All right, if you haven't liked the live stream yet, before you head out, click that like button real quick for us. Maybe we'll expose some more people to these scams, get the word out there and spread awareness. And appreciate you all for tuning in. Scoop up some merch if you can spare a couple bucks. Check out our coffee mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, stickers. Always appreciate it. Super chats, monthly memberships. It does help. But hey, like, share, and subscribe. We're happy with that too. We appreciate you all. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. We saw some new faces this evening. Thank you, Salermo Shelley, for tuning in. It was really cool seeing you. And then all the regulars, Matthew, Ava, Dave, of course. Anybody else that I might have missed here? Here Comes the Soul, if you're still there. Appreciate you all for tuning in, the return visitors. Thank you again. And hey, hope to see you all next week. And until next time, stay safe. And what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to play some tunes while I get these live streams shut down here. So you want to stick around, listen to a couple tunes while it takes me a minute or two to shut down the live stream. There you go. Have a good one, everybody. See you next week.
Link look weird, but your thumb feel wired. They fishing for the keys to your whole damn life. One tap, now they swimming in your bank late night. Dear customer, copy paste same line. Spelled your name wrong, can't even fake the design. Buzz in your pocket, yo, click for the check, click for the virus, click, lose respect. Scamaware 101, Jared, break it down. If it sound too sweet, better turn it around. Easy cash, fast love, miracle and cash. Hit the lead, not the link, we ain't falling for that. Scamaware 101, say it with your chest. Call them out, block the number, treat it like a test. If your gut say run, then you follow that drum. Scamaware, class has begun.
You must go to the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PIN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
They slide in your DMs, hey friend, long time. Photo look perfect, but the grammar ain't right. Click this link, your package on hold, but you never ordered. That story feel old. They rush you, they push you, act fast, don't wait. Soon as there's pressure, you step on the brakes. Jared, break it down, plain talk, no gloss. If they hate your questions, that's your sign to walk off. Red flags, listen when he talks. Jared got the map when the road feels dark. If it sounds too sweet, then you step back smart. We don't get scammed, yeah, we guard our hearts. Hey, red flags, learn them by heart. Scam awareness class, that's the hardest part. But he slow it right down, so we all take charge. We don't get scammed, we don't get scarred.
You must go to the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PIN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
Yo, it's Jared in the booth, spitting scammer with truth. They fishing in your inbox, man, they stealing your youth. Phishing emails, got that urgent in the line. Click that link and your bank account's not fine. Fake tech support, they call you at noon. Your PC's infected, yeah, they're singing that tune. Pick butchering scams, fat wallets to slice, invest in the fake love.